This is the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin'.
He's throwing it toward Thornton, right corner of the end zone, caught! Touchdown New England!
The Patriots Pregame Show is your source for all the news and information before every game.
He took it to the house! Again!
Here we
and
go!
The Patriots take the lead!
With Matt Smith, Mike Dussault, Paul Perillo, and Tamara Brown.
And the Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title.
Patriots Nation, welcome to the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin'.
Are we on? Are we live? Hey, I got a weird thing happening here.
work?
Yeah, I'm in one ear over here. I feel like John Wallach. I'm deaf in one ear
Yeah, turn your other one up.
because he had that juicy tumor
Play
in
with
his head.
both of the knobs.
That was impressive how you managed to work a shot in at Wallach, even on our show.
Wallach is no one knows. You know what? I'm not even going to mention it because what are the odds that anyone tuning in right now to the Patriots pregame knows who John Wallach is? So I won't bother.
Everybody knows who John Wallach is.
All right, he's calling the Celtics game tomorrow night. He's very excited.
That's
0.0.
Hey, it's Hardy. I am honored and thrilled to be filling in for Matt Smith, who's actually going to be joining us here in a little while as we go behind enemy lines, even though he's not the enemy. He's an infiltrator. He's a double agent. He's behind enemy lines in Buffalo.
Don't get captured.
As the Patriots visit the Bills here coming up in 2.5 hours. Why are we here now? It's like 2.5 hours from kickoff.
I hope he's dressed warm.
Is it colder in Buffalo than it is here?
Apparently, according to our friend Mike Reese, it's 13 degrees.
Oof. It was,
Brisk.
yeah, you know what? Get it ready. Go ahead, Marie, Matt. It's fine. Thank you. Right. I knew that was coming. 9 degrees when I took the dog out this morning. 9.
Woof.
Not. Wolf is right. That's what she said. Oh, she is an adorable scamp.
Does she have a sweater?
No.
Wow.
But we still went on the dog walk this morning, and we did encounter a dog wearing a sweater. And she thought that dog foolish.
Oh, okay.
Nice sweater. Oh, sorry.
So you
I'm
don't
actually
believe in
not-
dog clothing?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Halloween costume. I'll show you a picture later. You know, when we go into, what do we got, 1:45-second break scheduled, hour and a half in? You're such a baby. Go ahead and remind me in like 2 hours from now when we take a 10-second break to show you a picture of my dog in her Halloween
Your dog
costume.
should be in a sweater like Deuce. Like Deuce has on a fabulous sweater right now. I'm sure they have something for your dog
Paul
that looks
Perillo,
like this.
Right.
Give
Yes.
me 10 seconds on Mike Dussault's sweater. if you
Oh,
would,
this is
please.
going to be great.
So it's vintage. Mid-'80s, yes. I think of Ray Berry when I see that sweater, and I think of a lot of bad football.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it vintage
Was that
or
10 seconds?
is it faux vintage?
No, this is a legit Cliff Engel. Thank you very much. You might probably...
Gordon Gartrell? What is that?
Cliff Engel is the name of these sweaters. No, probably more famous with Mike Ditka and the Bears version. That's kind of what he was known for. But no, this is a legit one. It's very
that's
old.
from the era.
It's got some wool in it. It's a little hot. I'm not going to lie. It's a little toasty in it.
So I really like the look, except for it's feeling very Billsy today because they're also
Oh, right, that's
wearing
right.
red. So
I wanted a turtleneck with it. I thought a turtleneck would really tie it together and give the feeling, but I went with the little collar, so yeah.
How about a Dickie next time?
Well, the Dickie would be good because then I wouldn't be so hot. It wouldn't be the double levels of
Yeah.
layers.
I do like how he has the collar
yeah,
of his shirt.
It's professional. You know,
I
you
do
gotta
need
look
you to
nice.
rewear this tomorrow when we record Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
Okay, I can do that because it's Christmas, right?
Yeah.
You think he's never done that?
I only break it out like once a year. It's only,
He's done
I
that.
don't want people to get used to this thing.
I'm glad that Paul participated like twice already in the first few minutes because he is glued to that red zone. He is,
guy, this is my element. We got the 1 o'clock window on red zone. For
Hardy,
a
it's
rare
just so
time.
weird to be able to like watch games, and when we have a game at 4:25, I feel like we're usually home watching the
Yes.
4:25 games. Now we have to watch the 1 p.m. games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
a
that's
long wait.
That's fine. Did you did you watch the Patriots last week because the Bills and Lions were on at the same time? I'm not
Oh.
saying one game was more compelling than the other.
Yeah, we did.
But
we watched it.
Yeah.
We did.
We were here.
you
That
had a
was
chance to-
that was a pregame show rant for me last week.
what was?
Oh, yeah.
So the 4:25 game that the Patriots play, it has to be opposite Bills, Lions, Eagles, Steelers.
Eagles, Steelers.
Two of the
right.
better games of the season. We didn't get a
Exactly.
chance to watch any of them.
But I am looking forward to Patriots-Bills today because people, whenever someone predicts, something of a gigantic proportion, one way or the other, you can almost always bet the opposite. Am I predicting a Patriots win today? No. Am I predicting a representative effort? Yes.
So are you saying you were surprised to see 14-point dogs? for
Yeah,
this?
I think it's too much.
much.
I really
Okay.
do. I really do. But we'll get into all that. First, we have to hear the keys to the game.
You've waited all week for it.
The whole team's in the locker room right now just listening to this, waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Here are the Patriots pregame socials, keys to the game.
Keys to the game. Without these keys, the Patriots are destined and doomed to fail. Who is the current key holder?
Ooh, geez, Hardy, I think we've
To be
waxed on that.
I don't think we've done it since you were here last time.
I know. It's hanging right there. I mean, we could do it.
Hey, Matt, I'm going to get up for a
I'm the only
second.
one that really comes up with anything about the game.
I got to get up. I have to throw this key away because that's what they think of it. They don't care.
Or
Oh no, we've had it
no.
every week.
It's kind of just to
It's
remember you.
So-
it's usually right here.
Does it
but
get
we haven't
awarded
read-
every week?
No.
It does not.
Okay, so I'll
Sometimes.
throw it away.
No.
Hardy,
no,
maybe
you
we're
don't need
just
to do
maybe
that.
we're just saving it for you because you came up
Keep
with
it
this.
in your memory.
Yeah, it's the memorial.
We're
Hardy
saving it for
Memorial.
your-
Key.
Let's just assume I want it more often than not.
Okay. All right.
That's
We'll
fair.
do that. Let's see if you can.
Also, Hardy, your key's not on this piece of paper.
I wasn't asked. I wasn't asked when I filled in earlier this
Oh,
season.
Jesus,
I'm on the pay no.
Matt.
I'm on the pay no mind
I
list.
didn't care enough.
Doesn't matter. This is
Figured
true.
he could just read Matt's.
How about he's got to read Matt's and come up with something?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll start off with Matt's. Ignore
I
the
love
noise.
you, Hardy. Don't worry.
It's not bad. I don't hate it. It kind of falls in line with what I say about the 14 and a half point spread
Yeah.
on today's game. Like that's a little too bombastic for me. That's a little too
Whoa,
much.
whoa,
You
whoa.
ignore that. Now, Matt may be referring to the other noise surrounding the team this week. It's a lot of noise. It's a lot of something to talk about, I feel, for something where, all right, maybe you've disengaged in the actual outcomes of the game and has nothing to do with necessarily what they're going to win or lose by in the next 3 weeks. But when you're at 3 and 11, thank you. All right, maybe the outcome doesn't matter as much, and you find other things to make noise about. But that's largely what it is, noise. So I don't hate Matt's key. It's not going to win. It's not going to win. I can tell you that right now. If that ends up being the key to the game this week, this show is in a lot of trouble.
So where does that rate on your Hardy scale?
Oh, out of 22,
Okay.
Yeah.
that is a 7.1.
Ooh, it's not good.
It's not bad though. We've had much worse.
I have had worse personally. Yes.
Let's go, Deuce.
Yeah.
Why don't you hit us up with the key to the game?
I did start really fast, kind of like a music lyric. You know when they put things in parentheses for some reason. You're a music guy, right? You got those music shows still,
Sure.
Hardy? That's right.
What do you do on those shows?
Do you
play
do you
music.
play the music and then
talk
talk about
you
it?
talk about the music.
I I think, kind of going back to what was the last year when Jalen Reagor returned a kickoff and, kind of made the game competitive right from the get-go. Just I think the Patriots need to come out and play well early on. If the Bills are able to go out there, score a touchdown, score another, it gets rolling really fast for the Patriots. So I think if you come out with a good start, set a little bit of a tone that you're going to hang in there, that you're going to make some plays, that you're going to force some punts maybe. You're going to get off the field. You're going to convert some third downs. Maybe you're going to even get in the red zone and score some touchdowns. So I think that's it for me. Just have a good start, get off on the right foot, because that's the only real way. If you get behind, it's really hard to see this Patriots team climbing out of a points deficit and trying to turn the game around from
Well,
that
I
point.
like the notion of, like you said, kickoff return, maybe a special teams play, maybe a pick six. I mean, I'm really, really, wishing here. But if you're expecting the Patriots offense to take the field and, march down and 8 plays and put together a scoring drive, okay, that's a nice thought. I think if it happens, if they do start really fast, it'll be the result of a special teams play or a defensive score.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, defensive score that'd probably be more surprising to me than the offense scoring. Just the way they haven't been able to take the ball away enough. But totally right. Just any way you need it, get a fast start, force a punt, score some points. Just let them know right from the game we're going to play hard today.
Well, you know what?
Oh, interesting.
Uh-oh.
Did I break 10? That's my
9.9.
Damn it.
That's pretty good.
Okay, well,
It's pretty good.
It's not great though.
All right, Paul. What is it? What's your key?
So I understand that the Patriots are probably going to try to run the football against the kind of weak run defense for Buffalo, but I think they need to open the offense up a little bit, specifically the passing game. When they do throw it, they need to throw it downfield a little bit more often. They need to try to get some chunk plays. I don't think the offense is built to put 10, 12 plays together for drives without mistakes. We've seen the penalties have really derailed them, almost every week. So I think Drake Maye kind of made a little bit of a plea for that on Wednesday, saying you can't just check it down all the time. Sometimes you have to go downfield a little bit. So open up the offense. Take some shots with the kid. You're 3-11. Let's see if he can, operate in bad weather, throwing the ball, sort of any way he wants, even in the bad weather. See if he's affected by it. And I think you can get the Mike Dussault experience game out of the way.
There we go.
Mike is big on, having Drake Maye experience all these firsts.
Yeah.
And one of the things he's going to experience this week is how to dodge marital aids that potentially could be thrown onto the field during the game.
See, I don't care.
Buffalo.
I don't care for that. Number one, it's Sunday. Number two, it's so close to Christmas.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I just don't. I don't care for that
But
kind of talk.
open up the passing game a little bit for Drake Maye.
Yeah.
That's my key.
Do you have anything to say for yourself about that other thing?
What do you mean about my Drake Maye thing?
Never mind.
Oh, fine.
It's not great, Paul.
That's okay. I think they already
about
retired
football,
it in my
You
honor
want
anyway.
to throw the ball downfield a lot in inclement weather game, and you want to.
Oh, it's cold.
I'll watch it.
It's cold.
Score's already
It's a
been
Paul
decided. It's an 8.4.
Okay.
All right. Tamara, a chance to really, really do something here with your key to the game for the Patriots' visit to the Buffalo Bills. What is it?
No backyard football. This offense, this Bills offense, it previously ran through Stephon Diggs, who now is a Houston Texan. Now it's a more balanced attack. And when I look at this Patriots defense, I think the biggest threat to this defense is going to be the backfield of James Cook and Josh Allen. They're going to run the ball a lot more in this game. They have a really balanced attack. And this Patriots defense has had a really tough time setting the edge. They've been inconsistent stopping the run. And we know how Josh Allen likes to play hero ball. He's looking to extend those plays. He might even run it. He might throw it. And so I think that this defense has to be on their P's and Q's. They cannot miss their assignments. They also cannot miss their tackles. I feel like the consistent theme with this defense after each game in the locker room, they're always saying, we weren't on the same page. There was a miscommunication. We just missed a few tackles there, and that led to a long run. No excuses today. No backyard football.
It's pretty good.
Listen.
I mean, she laid it out.
I don't know if I'm still sore about the whole key hanging, off the webcam for
You really sore, Wally?
Yeah. It's a 12.8, and it's good enough for the key to the week. Congratulations,
Wow.
Tamara. The
Thank
no
you,
backyard
Hardy.
football. It spoke to me.
Bad job.
It spoke to me on a poetic level. It spoke to me on a football level. It spoke
Got
to
a
me.
good beat. You can dance to it.
It spoke to me on a human level.
Oh,
I thought it was really good.
Thank you, Hardy.
No backyard football. Congratulations.
good job, Tamara.
I
Show her
think
what
this is
she's
like
won.
the first,
Early birthday gift.
There
it
you go.
is. This is like the first compliment from Hardy. I feel like I need to write down this
Well, I
moment.
haven't seen you in like 2 months. I
Fair.
feel like it's probably overdue anyway. When is your birthday, by the way?
Christmas.
I think I knew that.
Yeah.
I should have known that over the last
I don't know
couple
how
of
you
years.
didn't.
Yeah, remember last year we worked Christmas
She
Eve?
almost never talks about it.
I remember working. Wait a second. And the
And
phone
my mom,
calls.
yeah. Mhm.
Yes, the phone calls from the family. That's okay.
Yeah.
Today is my B
I'm
day,
glad they can't do
and
that
people
again.
around here just go crazy for it.
Oh my God.
Well, happy early birthday,
Thanks,
Tamara.
Hardy.
All right, very good. Later on in the show, we'll get to all the other good stuff, the over-unders, and we'll get to the pick six. We got a Sunday six-pack to get to today. Excellent. We'll go behind enemy lines with Matt Smith here in another minute or two, and you can go ahead and jam the phone lines up right now. And if I can remember the phone number, we'll be in good shape. To the TPX hotline.
Good.
Boom. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
The Tango Papa X-Ray hotline, 855-PATS-500, 855-PATS-500. You can also email the show, which is now podcasts, plural, at patriots.com. So we'll do that as we get rolling the show. I don't want to go to the phones yet, though, because we're gonna.
No.
Well, Matt's going to
No,
be
it's
on with
too
us in like
early.
in a minute,
Right, right.
right?
Yeah.
Too early.
So we'll wait and talk to Matt.
So you seem, let me jump in for a second. Because
please.
you seem like you're a little bit more optimistic about this game than most.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious as to what is giving you that optimism.
Okay. Part of it is just
Good facilitation right
Yeah,
there.
Paul, it's like you should be on the radio maybe tomorrow even.
It's
With
easy.
Hardy.
Yeah. I sleeping. It's easy to look at the teams on paper and look at the spread and say, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And yeah, from that aspect of things, as we talk about a lot with these spreads, it's all about balancing out the action. But I just feel like the Patriots, were so underwhelming in their return from the bye week against Arizona last week. And I think if they can clean up a couple of things, if they can just clean up a couple of those false start penalties, if they can clean up a couple of the things that you were talking about on defense, about the missed assignments or the, not being on this, getting on the same page and cleaning up a couple of those penalties is probably good. I don't think I'm exaggerating here for a 10-point swing. And whether it's putting another touchdown on the board for you or preventing a touchdown or a field goal for the opponent. And I think for that reason alone. Now, if it doesn't happen and they're still not on the same page and the stuff hasn't been cleaned up, well, yeah, unfortunately, I think a lot of the noise we heard last week is going to get even noisier. But I think everybody knows what the score is. I think they know what is, at hand here in the final weeks of the season. And if the team is truly together on this and nobody has lost the locker room or anything else, then yeah, it is going to, I guess, show itself today. It's going to manifest today in a more professional football effort. And that alone should be able to keep you within 2 touchdowns. I would think you still got Drake Maye out there. You still got a couple of guys who can run the ball for you. And you do have a couple of players on defense that can do the job if they just simply exercise the fundamentals and get on the same page. What are you commenting on, the red zone?
It's red zone.
No.
Oh, a little bit.
I was
Terrible
commenting
for
to
it.
Mike about your optimism.
Yeah.
I didn't really expect it.
What did you expect me to say? They're going to lose.
What everybody else has been saying all week. Yeah, I haven't heard
Yeah.
anybody. I mean,
you wanted me to be still.
To me,
well,
the biggest path, and Mike and I had a nice talk about this off. The biggest path to sort of competitive today is like Buffalo not really being all that engaged.
Or if Buffalo just wants to,
I would wait for that in week 18.
They're tired
No.
from scoring 40 plus the last 2 weeks.
Sounds exhausting.
Well, 48 points. Last week that was a lot of time out on the field. All right, let's go behind enemy lines, but not really.
You know the view from New England, but what about the view from the other side?
And that's why you're our favorite pregame show guest every year.
You guys know you tell everybody that.
Oh, yeah.
I was on with you guys in 2018 Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
And I was told I was the favorite guest of the show.
Nope.
No.
Time now to go behind enemy lines.
My God, it's coming right for us.
Indeed, we go behind enemy lines and talk with the host of the Patriots Pregame and the Postgame show. His name is Matt Smith. He has infiltrated the enemy. He is behind enemy lines in Buffalo. Matt, how are you?
I am dynamite, Rob. Thank you very much.
Rob.
Let's get things straight. Hardy. You are the host. I am merely just trying to fill your enormous size 16 shoes.
Correct.
Paul and Deuce, did the red carpet get in? Were the rose petals down on the red carpet for anything for Hardy for his entrance today?
No,
I know we ordered it.
No, well, he tried to bust in the back door. We had construction. He didn't know where he was going. I think he got lost in the break room somewhere. We had to go find him. It's not easy here without you, Matt.
What I requested, Matt, was not necessarily rose petals to be my feet. I wanted the rose bearers to walk in front of me and place the petals as I walked, coming to America style. But that didn't happen either.
I don't think that's unrealistic, Hardy.
Well, that's all right. How are things in Buffalo? Cold, I hear.
They are. But as on the elevator ride up just a second ago, our big boss Fred Kirsch goes, it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind.
No, it's not. It's the air temperature.
So beyond the temperature, Matt, what are the conditions? Is it windy? Is there any precipitation or anything?
Wind.
No wind.
Not
okay.
like a wind, Paul. It's clear, blue sky. Now, of course, at game time, that's going to be over. It's just cold. You know, it's in the mid-teens. So
air it out.
You think?
Air it out.
Because you guys are probably already discussed. This is a good opportunity to see if your rookie quarterback, who hasn't really played in these kind of conditions before, I think he's looking forward to playing in these kind of conditions. Let's see how he does. It's a different hurdle for him to face, different challenge this week.
So, Matt, you bring up the rookie, Drake Maye. I was wondering if you've seen him out there on the field. Does he look cold? Does he look like he's ready to go? Tell us what you're seeing out there.
We just arrived a couple minutes ago, Tamara. So as I'm making my way here and looking, there honestly aren't a lot of players already out on the field. There's only 4.
Okay.
And he's not out there yet. So my guess is he'll do his usual pregame routine, whenever that is. I don't think he's going to stay in longer. He probably did and we weren't on that bus, as you know. My guess is he probably did a quick drive-by when he got here just to take a look before he went in to get dressed.
Wait, I have another question.
Go.
Sorry, Deuce.
Tamara has a follow-up.
I have a follow-up.
Are you sure?
Great.
Since your boot's on the ground there and your key was to ignore the noise, how are the Buffalo fans?
The best fans in the National Football League.
Ooh.
The bus ride
Ouch.
in to, Paul, what's this called this week? Hallmark Stadium?
I have no idea.
Also,
what
a
it's
good
called,
thing
to be
no
honest.
Patriots fans are listening and watching this right now. Go ahead, Matt.
I would also say, do not share
we
that
doing?
opinion with the boss man, Fred Kirsch. I think we disagree.
What exactly are we doing again? This is on Patriots.com, correct?
I'm just curious
Okay.
because his keys ignore the noise, so I want to know what the noise level is currently.
All right.
Because
Usually that's a lot of Miller Lights fired off the side of the bus when you go into that stadium, bunch of Neanderthals.
They were, the fans were greeting the buses with a lot of year number 1 signs, and I thought that was good. Saw one bloke happen to drop his adult beverage while he was trying to give us the one finger salute.
Oh.
So he deserved that. But I say that with the passion that they bring. That's what I mean by the best fans. Like, they're out in full regalia here to support their team. They'd support them when they're, whatever their record is today, atop the AFC East. And if they were a similar record as the Patriots, they'd be here as loud and proud as well.
Matt, I'm assuming you went out last night and got a little bit of a feel for the town, for the Bills fans. I mean, Josh Allen, midst of an MVP season, did you get kind of a vibe in Buffalo that they're really gearing up for this to be the year for them?
You hit the nail on the head, Deuce. You hit the nail on the head. No excuses this year. No excuses. I know our colleague Evan Lazar mentioned off the air the other day. He goes, McDermott will get in the way and find a way to mess things up. I don't know. It feels to me, and I think the people here, there's a level of expectation that this is their year.
I can't really blame him, Matt. I mean, you're they're in Buffalo right now, so it's hard, easy, I guess, to kind of get caught up in it a little bit. But when you look at the best teams in the league right now for weeks and weeks, I was telling people, and other people said it was the Lions. But with all their injuries right now, I would hear arguments on the Bills or the Eagles in terms of what team looks the best right now this weekend. Do you think it's the Bills? Do you think it's someone else?
I do agree. I think it is Buffalo. As we were watching the Ravens-Steelers game yesterday, I made the point that I think there's 2.5 teams in the AFC and maybe 1.5 teams in the NFC with the team that's currently playing in the NFC with the puncher's chance, and that's the Rams. I mean, they're playing very well right now. Certainly offensively, the Rams are. I don't know what the score is in the Jets game.
Not today.
But, okay, yeah. Well, no surprise with Paul. You know better than anybody, West Coast to East Coast, and what a trap that is,
Yeah, they're in a 9-6 game right now with the Jets.
Right, but
not that I've been paying attention to Red Zone.
It hasn't
I know
been,
how you don't like that, Matt.
Put it this way, Matt. They haven't shown the game on Red Zone very much at all because I don't think the teams are getting to the Red Zone.
Yeah, I saw that Hurts went down, concussion.
Yep.
I think the Eagles are playing better than anybody right now. Detroit's, if they can continue to play the way they've done with all these losses that they've had, especially on the defensive side, power to them, but I would guess it's the Eagles in the NFC. And I think it's Buffalo and Kansas City in the AFC. You just don't, you tell me which Raven team is going to show up, and then I'll let you know how that's going to go. Because if they play the way they did yesterday, they'll be a factor.
Yeah, I like the Ravens in the AFC right with those other two. It's one of those weird things, like when we do the picks and we always talk about who owns who. Baltimore crushed Buffalo. Buffalo beat Kansas City. Kansas City owns Baltimore. So those are the three teams I agree with Matt that I would be focusing on, even though it certainly looks like the Steelers will win the division, which I think would be a really bad blow for Buffalo because that would make them a good blow for Buffalo because that would mean that they wouldn't be in that 3 spot. And if it's 2-3, then Baltimore comes to the 2 seed, and that's not a good matchup for Buffalo to have to play the Ravens. So I think, but I agree with you, Matt. I think that those are the teams that are playing the best. We'll see who's playing the best in another month or so. But right now, it's hard to argue with Detroit, Philly, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore. Those are the teams. Maybe Green Bay. trying to sneak into that mix.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Paul. That's a good one.
Yep.
Hardy, here's my question for you.
Yeah.
Is it too much to ask for these guys to be a pain in the neck today? What do you think?
To be a pain in the neck, yeah, that's probably too much to ask. What I'm asking for today, and what I'm kind of expecting today, Matt, is for them to figure out a couple of things, clean up a couple of things, play together like a professional football team, because let's face it, that was kind of lacking against Arizona, especially coming off the bye.
Right.
Go out there and make a representative effort, and just show up as a team that, on paper, on the field, everything else. No, you're going up against, as we just said, maybe the best team in the league right now, but make a representative effort. I don't know that they're going to get in the way all that much. I would expect them to, and I think they do have the ability to play much better than they have, and that should keep it within a couple of touchdowns. Can it be a 1 or 2 score game middle of the fourth quarter? I think it can be. And
yeah.
I don't know if it's going to pose that much of a problem. I don't know if you're going to scare the Bills today, but I think you can give them an honest effort. And sadly, I think that has lacked, a couple of times throughout this 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, and I think, if you look back at this year, which is just chock full of disappointments, I think that the trend, as Paul always likes to try to follow, is when they put a clunker up, they usually are representative, if that was the word that you just used, Hardy.
Yeah.
They're usually representative the next week. Buffalo certainly hasn't stopped anybody in the last couple of weeks, albeit they're playing against much better offenses. So you'd like to think, from a Patriots perspective, that there's a chance that they move the ball and score some points today. But, if they get down inside the 20, the 15, or the 10, that's obviously where the problems have occurred down the stretch here.
All right. Matt Smith is in Buffalo. He is serving as double agent today there with the Patriots, but also has ingratiated himself to the fans of Buffalo so much so that he calls them the best fans in the National Football League.
Maybe.
I mean, wow.
Standing by it.
I know. Are we sure he didn't actually get captured behind
I think he
enemy
might
lines?
be.
They've got
Matt, blink twice if you need help.
I like it. That's a good one.
Say it, Smith.
Matt, thank you for letting me keep your seat warm here this week, and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the trip. When do you guys get back tonight? Are you gonna be back here at Gillette Stadium before we leave?
11:30, I think, is when we're scheduled to arrive.
All right.
Back at Gillette Stadium.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be we'll be gone a little bit before then, but safe travels back. Enjoy the game today, Matt.
Thanks, Hardy, and thank you for all you do. Great job as usual.
Appreciate
right?
it. Thanks,
Matt.
See you tomorrow, Matt.
Okay.
There he goes. Matt Smith. I cut him off right there mid salutations.
Can I throw a question at Paul I just thought of?
Yeah.
Paul, you've been in the reverse of this a lot. Like, you watched this Patriots team for many years get to late December, only a couple losses. They've got to play a division opponent that's struggling. Like, what's your thought for the Bills? Like, if you were the Bills, I know you've been in the Patriots position, but what do you think the Bills are looking at this game and thinking?
Well, that's why I'm sort of in the back of my mind. I'm not 100% all in on what everybody else is saying. This game is going to be, 43 to set. Like, I just don't know how human nature doesn't seep in. We just went on the road. Really, look at the last 3 games. They had an emotional Sunday night win in the snow against San Francisco. Then they go on the road for 2 games against the Rams and the Lions that were sort of just epic track meets, where you're scoring 40 and giving up 40. Doesn't there kind of have to be an emotional letdown? 11-3 against 3-11, back home. I mean, Buffalo probably looks at this game as, we're not going to lose it, but we don't need to be at our best to win it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit of a slower start for Buffalo. But at some point, I think they just kick it in. Now, the flip side of that is, if you're a mature team and you've learned it all, as you've been trying to build to this team to get to where you want to go, you come down and you lay the hammer down in the first half and get a 3-score lead and then coast in the second half. That's why, not that we're allowed to anyway, but that's why I wouldn't put any money on these games, because who the hell knows what the spread at the end of the game is going to be, and how meaningless the touchdowns are going to be, both sides.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. What do you remember about Patriots games though like this? Like, because I kind of feel like it's.
I can only think
don't
of,
get hurt.
I
Don't
can only
lose a
think
guy.
of
Like,
one
that's kind of
game.
as a fan what I'm thinking.
There was a Monday night game in 2004 in Miami
Yeah.
where the Patriots were like 13-2 and the Dolphins were 2-13, and it was an unbelievable loss to the Dolphins. I still remember
like
it.
a fourth quarter collapse,
Yep,
right?
29-28, something like that. Darius Thompson,
Ooh.
game-winning touchdown. Big night for Wes Welker, I believe, for the Dolphins.
Oh.
Maybe setting the stage. He did not kick.
Yep.
But maybe setting the stage for him becoming a Patriot. That would be
I'm sorry. I just saw Aaron Rodgers scramble for, I don't know what that was.
Do you know he ran for like 40 yards last week? It was like the most he's run for in like 3 years.
Beyond the line of scrimmage or just running back and forth? Like those yards that they count with the tracker?
Yeah, that's with the tracker, right.
No.
He actually ran 3 miles on that
He
play.
can't move. He can no longer move.
No.
Be careful talking about him.
Yeah,
He'll
right.
go on the Pat McAfee
Come
show
for
and
you.
complain that you're talking about him.
So that would
Keep
be
my name out of your
memory,
mouth.
Deuce, anyway. Is
Yeah.
in general, the Patriots take care of business in these games,
Yeah.
especially late in the year. Oh,
Yeah.
nice throw, Caleb Williams.
All right. Well, that's not great for Lions.
Detroit
fans,
put
but
almost
yeah,
30 in the first half. That's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a lot of points
That's a lot of
in
points.
a short period of time.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
especially. I mean, when if you've spent a lot of time watching a team, let's just say for the sake of argument, through 14 games has not scored more than 24 points in an entire game, then yes, 27 points in a half is a lot. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Mostly.
All right. Let's go to the phones here. 855-PATS-500. You can also email podcasts, plural, at patriots.com.
Scored 25 once.
What?
Scored 25
Yeah.
once.
Guy.
Once.
Come on.
You sure?
Yeah, they beat the Jets 25-22.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Get your facts straight.
If
Come
anyone,
to
if anyone is
54's locker.
If anyone is going to correct anyone on the final score of a game, or what was the final scoring play of that game, Paul?
2-point conversion.
See?
That's my guy.
He knows. It's going to be Paul Perillo. Let's talk with cousin.
Mondre, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that right?
I think they threw a little swing pass to Ramondre Stevenson, who was uncovered for
How
the
about
2-point
that?
conversion.
Cousin Patty and Agawam, first up here on the show. Cousin Patty, what's going on? Hello.
Oh, no.
No, it's fine.
It's an afternoon game. You never know what you're going to get from Cousin Patty.
Get it? Oh, you know what? I think I hit the wrong button. I think that's on me. Let's try this. Yeah, there
Oh,
you
there
are.
he is.
Yeah, it was totally me. Yeah,
First
see, you
time
were there
hosting.
the whole time.
So what's going on, everyone? I mean, today I'm kind of with you, Paul. I could see the Bills trying to shorten the game and like run a little bit more and just like we saw back in the dynasty era, just get off the field, get the win. But what I want to see from our guys is I just want to see them. I want to see them actually like come out and compete, not like what they did last week, and just don't beat yourself. I mean, the talent disparity is there. You know, they're even if they play a mistake-free game, they're probably going to get beat by 2 scores. But either way, I just want to see them play smart and disciplined this week and going forward. That's all I got, guys.
Thanks, Patty.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he's right.
There was a little Eldred nature to that. I agree with you. Like I don't really recall saying the Bills want to run.
More a me thing.
First of all, the Bills do run the ball more than they have. That started last year with Joe Brady when he replaced Ken Dorsey as offensive coordinator. But I didn't advocate shortening the game. I just think that the Bills should want to look at this game. Let's get a lead. They're a 3-11 team. Let's get out in front. Don't give them any hope. Let's end their hope of an upset early, and then we can cruise in the second half.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at them trying to come out and run the ball 45 times and shorten the game or anything like that.
I
no.
figured that's why you were giving me a look.
I think it would be the opposite. Like, go out and light it up early, get 3 scores in the first quarter, and sort of end the game that way.
Yeah.
Let's go to Todd here on the Patriots pregame show, which is fueled by Duncan. Todd in North Carolina, Bill Belichick's new home. What's up?
Oh, yeah, definitely going to go and see the Heels play a little bit. I've been watching our Panthers play, and I've been watching a little bit of Washington and some of the other games. And I've come to the conclusion that a good coach can really elevate your team. But, man, Canales for us makes some wonky calls and does some weird stuff. And he has similar press conferences to Mayo. So my fear is that Mayo is going to take a while to get to be to that type of coach that can elevate people. How much of a difference? How many points do you think your good coaching can really take this team up? And that's my question for you guys. And, well, go Pats. Bye now.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Tom.
That's hard to say.
All right, this kind of fuels something I was thinking about this week, and I mentioned a couple of times on the Sports Hub, which is all this talk of coaching and all these reports, this, that, and the other way. Would you say that any one position or any one coordinator or the head coach, whatever it is, has been an absolute meltdown disaster this season for the Patriots. And spoiler alert, I can't look at any aspect or facet of this team and say, well, obviously, this is, a complete dumpster fire. I don't feel that way. What I feel it's a combination of some personnel. It's a combination of some people kind of like growing into the roles here. And if you could identify one thing, let's say in years past, you could look at say, okay, special teams coaching, that needs to change, obviously. There are some issues there. Saw that a few seasons ago. This year, I think it's more of a conversation. I think it's a bit more ambiguous.
I don't feel great about the wide receivers. I don't feel great about that room. I don't feel great about their consistency week in and week out. There hasn't been a lot of development there. That's one room.
Okay.
that I would point out is I don't feel great about anything they've really done this year. And
I would agree with Mike.
Kayshon Boutte. Sorry.
No element of the team.
Kayshon Boutte was a nice story early on because he was on the bubble, and he was as much in the mix as anybody. I don't know what to expect. He could be cut. He could be on the team, and I've said it a couple times. Like, one of the things I always liked about Boutte was like his hands. Like, I just thought he was a good catcher. Like that.
Like
to
Buddy
me,
Farnham.
Like no, not
soft
super
hands.
Not super fast or anything like that.
Farnham.
But like, man, he just always seemed to catch the ball when it went his way. And like, what's frustrating with the season is now he's unsure. His hands are not sure-handed anymore.
Okay. But this relates back to coaching. Okay. And so is that a coaching issue? Would you have some things be coached up differently in the receiver room, or is it a combination of personnel and maybe not being on the same page? I'm not saying anything is good necessarily. I just can't point at one aspect of it, sticking to the coaching side of the team and say, well, obviously that's a disaster, that's a problem, that needs to change.
I feel like
I have a problem getting myself there.
That room specifically, especially I would say the first 8, 9, maybe even 10 games of the season, it's been like a Russian roulette in that room of like, okay, this person's going to be the odd man out this week. This person's hurt. This person missed curfew, whatever. It's like it was like juggling wide receivers. I feel like for a while where you didn't know if someone was going to play, how many reps they were going to get, like who was going to be out there. It just was very confusing, where I feel like is now the last 5 games or so, it's very obvious who the guys are going to be out there every single week, unless, obviously they get hurt. I feel like it was just tough to see when that room, starting with training camp, we were like, how is this going to play out? There's so many guys in that room. Who's going to be the odd man out? Who's going to make the roster? And we were still dealing with that until last week when we finally
as they slowly thinned the room out. As those guys went. But I'm over the my bads. I'm over the, I ran the wrong route. I didn't run far enough. It's a lot of that stuff. It's details. And that to me, points to coaching. I would say, though, I'll echo your sentiment for, it's been tough for Scott Peters. I think that with the offensive line, with what he's had to work with the injuries that group has experienced, that's tough. Same with the linebackers coaches, not a lot to work with. Injuries compounded the problems. The secondary play has been up and down. Of course, Christian Gonzalez is having a great year. So, there's a lot to kind of unpack there, but
I feel like you could say that about the safeties too, because I'm like, they probably didn't expect to play Del Pettis as much as he's been playing.
Duggar was hurt, and look, I don't want to make excuses because at a certain point, everybody's kind of hurt, and certain teams find a way to overcome it and find ways to have guys like Del Pettis play serviceably. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes today, but 3 games, and just real quick, looking back, I did a little look-see-back-see over the last couple of days. After the bye, last 3 seasons after the bye, Patriots 1-4, 3-5, 2-5. And that's – I don't want to connect this team to those teams, but just this is generally a team that has not played their best football at the end of the season, unless it was, special circumstances like going against, Jacksonville when they hung 50 on them in 21. So, they need something special today. And, Patty's saying, I want to see them – be on their game, not make stupid mistakes. At a certain point, that's who they are.
Right.
That's what they've been doing week in, week out. And for the third to last week of the season, for them to suddenly play airtight football, it's a lot to
last
ask.
Week, I understand that they didn't play well, but I think they had 4 penalties. I think they had 1 turnover, when the game was already sort of decided.
Yeah.
That's not why they lost. This, they need to play a clean game, more disciplined. Yeah, sure. We all do. The goal every week is to be as mistake-free as you possibly can. But to Mike's point, they're not going to go through these games not making mistakes or looking great. Like last week, the defense, back to your coaching question, the defense to me doesn't make any adjustments when they're not playing well. The tackling has been a problem. I think the run defense has been a huge problem. So, to me, any and everything coaching-wise should be on the table. The one thing that I think everybody came into the season all in agreement on, there's a lot of newness. There's a lot of guys doing something for the first time. And it shows. It shows because they haven't played consistently well really at any stage of the season.
All right, we're going to go to Justin in Virginia, who is on the Patriots pregame show, fueled by Duncan. Justin, what's going on?
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing?
Real quick, Tamara, I saw your commercial. I was on YouTube randomly.
That's awesome.
Your commercial popped up, and it was awesome. And I was like, oh, that's Tamara.
Hold on 1 second, please. Commercial for what?
Oh, yeah.
My migraine medication.
I don't even remember what it was for, but.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Here you go, girl.
Oh
he doesn't even remember what it was for.
But it's not great for the advertiser.
No.
Have you created your own migraine medicine?
Oh, no. So I suffer from migraine, and the medication that I take is who I did a commercial for.
Because I was going to say, that is an impressive side hustle.
No.
Yeah, I mean, the FDA approval alone is a full-time job. But no, you were contacted by the maker of the medicine and said.
Correct.
Yeah, right on. And it's working?
Yes.
How are the migraines?
Not here currently because of that.
Great.
So, yeah, I've been taking it for a few years and it works well.
What else you got for us, Justin?
So part of what I would be concerned about is in this first year, I feel like in hindsight, we got a lot of these teams in either the worst version of the team or we realized they weren't that good. Like Jets, we realized they weren't that good. The Texans, in hindsight, it's I think Nico Collins wasn't playing. The
Texans blew the Patriots out.
So what?
The Texans blew the Patriots out.
No, but I'm saying it's we're still getting beat by these teams, even though you should, in theory, at least have some kind of chance.
The Texans aren't one of those teams to me. The Texans are much better than the Patriots. If you want to say Jacksonville, I think Jacksonville's an example of that.
Okay. Yeah,
the Colts. We're watching the Colts, on the red zone right now. Those are games that I thought you should have been able to compete in, especially the Jacksonville game. They probably should have beaten the Colts. Jacksonville was in disarray when you went to London, and they ran the ball 17 plays in a row against you. That's embarrassing.
Yep.
I agree with Justin's point on that. That's a team you should have been able to compete better than that with.
All right, Justin.
Yeah, I just felt like we went through a stretch where it just felt like every week
Judon.
a major player on the team was down.
Yeah.
Wow.
At least a month.
Yeah. Look, there have been, I would say this season could best be described, and thanks for the call, Justin, as a series of bad stretches. You've had a couple of, you had the
6-game losing streak, and they're currently on a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, you had that. I don't want to know if I want to call it false hope in week one, but you give a team and a bunch of engaged players a few weeks to prepare for one game, which I now feel is exactly what they were doing during training camp. They were preparing for the Bengals in week one as opposed to preparing for an entire season, which good teams can afford to do. If you're a new team with a lot of newness, as you said, Paul.
Can I be really negative about the opener for a second? I mean, in retrospect, do you think that had a little something to do with the fact that the Bengals were on a wildcat strike? They were all pissed off that T. Higgins didn't get a contract. Jamar Chase didn't get a contract. They didn't take part in any of training camp. They weren't ready to go. They always start slow to begin with. They weren't playing. With 14 games now to sort of base it on, I'm going to look at that game and say if the Patriots were playing the Bengals 2 weeks ago, they probably would have given up 45 points.
But that's why I say you give it some false hope and you went out there and this is a team, we've talked about it a lot here as we look at these last few games of the season. What could the Patriots finish at? What would Buffalo do? This is something I've heard a lot. In week 18, if Buffalo's not playing for anything, what does that mean? And the notion is nothing in terms of the actual outcome of the game.
Right.
The Bills could probably go out there with a bunch of, non-starters
and I don't even care who
and still
plays.
get a win.
If they don't need the game, then you know what I mean? Like, they're just sort of waiting to get ready for the next week. Like, let's say that Kansas City wins their next game.
Yeah.
So the number 1 seed's out. Buffalo, even if they play Josh Allen and those guys, they're going to be out there with, nothing to play for.
Yeah.
Like, even that wouldn't matter to me.
Yeah. They would still. You would
week
still.
18.
You would still pick the Bills to win.
Oh, I would.
Yes.
But I'm saying if the Patriots won.
Oh no! I'm saying that at this point in the season, I would still expect the Bills to win that game. So, all right, week 1, all those things about Cincinnati may have been true, but you still have to go out there and put together some kind of a game,
right?
And they did. My only point is this: aside from another win or two, this season has been about bad stretches. Yeah. It's been about stretches of things not being fixed from week to week. I think we're due for at least a few things to be fixed this week. That's all. Not to the point where they get a win in Buffalo today, but where it just looks a tiny bit better.
Hardy, I like it because, in all seriousness, and the 3 of us are here every week with Matt, and we're working. Like, we're trying to find those.
Yeah.
We're working hard to try to find, that path or some kind of opening. Other than Drake Maye.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's really hard. It's really hard to find.
Could you imagine, watching this team and trying to stay engaged with this team without Drake Maye being a part of the conversation? And we can get into
describe the Jets win.
Well, get into the nuance of Drake Maye, and we will, in terms of, how good he's actually been. But without dissecting it too much, I can't imagine being invested in this team this season if it weren't for Drake Maye's play.
Yeah.
No, and another kick on that was Christian Barmore going back on IR this week, unfortunately,
good point, Mike.
with blood clots. I mean, he's a big part of the defense, and I mean, that's just unfortunate. I don't want to paint that in. That's kind of a unique case, but I struggle to find that hope for the defense. I haven't seen anything out of them all year. Offensively, I have a little bit more hope that Drake can kind of lead them. Ramondre can get going, but defensively, for them to slow down Josh Allen today, we've seen much better defenses, Patriots defenses, go to Buffalo and get rolled by this offense. Maybe even lesser versions of this Bill offense. So really interested to see what the Patriots defense brings today, because it's a huge challenge. I mean, every team in the NFL, it's a huge challenge to stop this guy.
All right, let's speak with Deshaun in Virginia here on the Patriots pregame show. 855-PATS-500. That's the TPX hotline. Deshaun, what's going on?
Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. I look at the fact that if anybody's not thinking about this, I look at it like the city of blessing in disguise. Like, if we get blown out these last 3 games, I look at that fact that we probably get Vrabel along with Josh McDaniels, stuff like that, And because I heard people talking about, like, coach to be the difference and getting something out of points, though, but you can't teach people how to catch the ball better. You can't teach people how to block better. I mean, either they can block or they can't, or they can catch or they can't, or they can run right so they can. That's just the way I look at it. So I feel like that Vrabel can turn us into the right direction to lead the coach. That's all I have to say.
All right, thanks, Deshaun. I caught some of that based on calling from the other side of an empty container of some kind.
Yeah.
Like a shipping container.
I know Mike probably will disagree. I'm not, like, hugely clamoring for Mike Vrabel to be the next coach, but that's just me.
Defense?
Generally? Just kind of think he's been average. Like, I don't think he's been as good as people think he has.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
I don't know.
I wish he were as good a coach as people seem
I didn't
to
say
think
he's
he
not
is.
an upgrade over. Yeah, right. That's a good point. And by the way, I'm not suggesting that. Like, Mayo has been great. I mean, that's not my point. I'm just looking here. Vrabel, 6-11 is last year, 7-10 the year before that, and I want to say he's 8-24 in like his last 32 games or something like that. Like, it's been bad.
Yeah.
And I think people just sort of remember that team that kind of surprised everyone and got to the AFC Championship. They haven't been that. Even the team that got the number 1 seed was just kind of like, and they lost their first game at home with that number 1 seed. I think Vrabel's a good coach, and I really am intrigued by him spending the year trying to focus more on the offensive side. I think that was a really smart move by Mike. I personally like Mike a lot, so, I mean, I can understand, like, if that was the next guy, it's always good to have, somewhat of a relationship with the head coach, but I'm not sure it's like this magic fix that a lot of people are sort of making it out to be.
Yeah. I mean, my only thing would be, give him Drake Maye instead of Ryan Tannehill. You know, you got an upgraded
Is Drake
quarterback.
Maye going to play as well as Ryan Tannehill did that year that they went to the AFC Championship game?
No, he's going to be way better.
You think so?
I do.
Because that was one of the best years that you can have.
Still, he's limited, but...
And is Arthur Smith coming with him?
No. Josh McDaniels.
Because that's what it took.
I'll just say this. Something I thought of is that, if assuming Mayo's back, the Patriots can be forced to do Hard Knocks this summer. And they've never done it before.
Oh, so you got to have a new coach so you don't have to do it?
Well, I'm saying...
I love the Hard Knocks theory.
Well, no, that's not... I'm making the other point. The point is that...
that was a total joke.
Yeah. The point is that Mayo stays, you might have to open up everything to show this summer what they're doing here. So, you know what I mean? It's just something to consider.
Okay, number one...
There's a real reason to root against Hard Knocks because I'll have to watch it.
Well,
because you got to watch it. It's part of your job now.
Who's still watching Hard Knocks?
Mike,
religiously?
Mike watches it all the time.
I have watched the in-season one, which is tapered off, by the way.
Rich Perillo.
Tapered off a little bit.
Rich Perillo, my brother.
Yep.
He watches all the time. He loves it. I have kind of given up on it.
Okay, so your fear would be that they have to open up and show everything that they do here.
I mean, we all know what the criticism is right now about this team, and I'm sure they'll have some editorial input. It's not going to be, but it's been tough for Mayo this year with the media, and not really. I mean, I'm sure he'll be better in year 2, but it's just something to think about. I'm not saying, we got to fire the coach because we don't want him to be on Hard Knocks, but there's a very good chance that you line up with the criteria that you, a team that has never done Hard Knocks, can be forced to do it.
Absolutely.
And look, Rex Ryan, let's go get a snack. I mean, it's behind the scenes. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that you're going to put it on display and say, look, this team really does know the direction they're going.
It's not a bad thing at all for a team. Like that's been proven. There's many teams that have been on Hard Knocks that made the playoffs that year. Like that's not like a jinx
there were
or anything.
a ton of players watching Rex Ryan during that season of Hard Knocks that said, I want to go play for him. They loved it. They loved the culture. They loved the atmosphere there.
Yeah.
That was something that they gravitated toward. But my question for you is, what would you be afraid of getting revealed here on Hard Knocks? Or what would the Patriots be afraid of being revealed?
I'd be afraid that you're showing people that it doesn't look like a smooth operation. The
That's
guys
where I
behind
thought
the
you were
scenes
going
don't
at
know
the
what
start.
they're doing.
Is there anyone that still thinks it's a perfectly smooth operation?
No, but
or
it's
is
one thing
or
to think it, it's another thing to see it. To Mike's point.
And if these 3 games are losses, and Mayo comes back, what kind of leash does he have going into next season? So now you're going to set the stage for a season where he's probably going to be on a tight leash in terms of how the team does, and you're going to open up the doors and see if this is what it looks like behind the scenes, better or worse. Maybe it's great. Maybe wow, like like you said, I want to go play for that guy, but it's also a little bit risky, I think.
Now, you know what they say about worrying, Deuce? It's like paying interest on money you'll never borrow.
I like that.
Okay? So don't even worry about it.
I don't worry about it.
Don't even do it.
I'm a little worried about the game, but that's it.
Do they say that?
I just said
do.
Oh.
I've heard worry is a down payment on a problem you may never even have. I've heard that.
I like my version better.
I actually heard
of either one.
I've heard one that says, "Don't worry, be happy."
Okay.
I've heard that one.
Boom.
And coincidentally, Bobby McFerrin on the phone from South Carolina. Oh no, it's Derek. Sorry. Go ahead, Derek.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
I'm doing well.
Rig.
Yeah, you're driving, huh?
Yeah, I'm driving. So,
right.
Real quick, I've been a Patriots fan since the days of Grogan and Cunningham and Vegas Ferguson, Stanley Morgan, the whole crew, right? Seen the ups and damn sure seen the downs.
One of these things
but the
doesn't
thing with this year
belong
for
here.
me, they changed the offense, the scheme of the offense to this wide zone, to this zone run. The offensive, the personnel, number one, didn't really fit it, including the running back.
Yep.
Stevenson is a power guy. This cut and everything else, that's more Gibson, and Gibson has done pretty well.
Yep.
But the kicker is, Bull is, in my opinion, is the one that needs to go because he whiffed on the draft. I get it. It is what it is, right? Polk has been a huge disappointment when there were other opportunities. Could have tried to trade up in the first round for a look at, whatever. Outside of Drake Maye, no one from this draft has really had any sort of contribution, whether it be from talent or injury. And the players that have re-signed, has Onwenu played like a $19 million offensive lineman?
No.
So there's so many question marks going into the off season. And the one thing I wonder about is when they showed the Crafts in Arizona visibly upset with the play calling and probably everything that had to do with that game, when the offseason hits, are they going to turn a little more Jerry Jones and start to make some changes and decisions that would have never happened under the previous regime? I'll take it off the air, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Derek.
Well, I mean, I would just say it would never happen under the previous regime, except for it just did. Like 2 years ago, the Matt Patricia, disaster offensive coordinator scheme immediately went to Bill O'Brien, and the vast majority of the reports out of that came that was an edict from above. So they just did that when Bill Belichick was still here. So I think there'll be changes on the coaching staff. I don't know exactly what they'll be, but to go 3-11 and expect, well, everything's great. We have everything in place.
Well,
there won't be any changes.
Can we also,
that's naive. There's going to be changes.
Can we also draw a distinction between ownership getting involved and in the decisions that greatly affect the football team and Jerry Jones, who is, I mean, the
pinnacle of it.
Yeah, there's something in between a hands-off owner and Jerry Jones. I would expect an owner to be involved and have something to say about who's being hired and how the team looks and what things are happening to the naked eye, to what anybody watching the team, what the questions that you have. Yeah, I think it's not only fair, but I agree. It's expected for ownership to have questions and input on some of these matters. You don't have to be a GM and do a weekly radio show and talk about things in minutia. So no, I think
That's a good point.
I think there is involvement. There will be involvement, and it doesn't have to be meddling involvement.
Yeah, like just because like there's involvement doesn't mean it has to be a negative connotation. I totally agree with Hardy on that.
It's their team.
Yeah.
They should be involved.
You have to meet with your boss? It's crazy.
How about John? Now, John, are we going to say, and I've asked you this before, John, are we going to say on South Beach or in South Beach?
Just South Beach.
I call him Johnny
the
South
preference
Beach.
is in, yes. Johnny South Beach is the number one preference.
Sure.
It's just kind of stuck. John in South Beach is the second, since
Okay.
I'm not currently lounging. And in fact, I will be taking an American Airlines flight to Bradley International Airport at 8 p.m. today. So a big switch for me is coming.
All right.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's cold.
Johnny freezing.
Yeah, and
Good one,
Hardy,
Deuce.
you made me laugh before. My mom, whenever my siblings and I would say something or do something untoward on a Sunday, she would plead with us that it was the Lord's Day and we need to scale back on that kind of talking behavior.
I like your mom. She's a good lady.
I have a very basic take for what I think is about to happen. I think this is a really bad spot for the Patriots. I think we're getting set up to get potentially a little bit embarrassed here because R.A. McDermott, I think, takes a unique pleasure in, spanking us. And I don't think they have to try very hard to hang 28-35. But, I will be on my NFL app. I will be listening to the call, and I've kind of relinquished myself to it, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay, so you're just giving yourself over to embarrassment, and preemptive embarrassment will make the actual embarrassment less likely. Look, it's possible. It's kind of silly to say no, they won't get embarrassed today. Of course, they're going to go out there and they're going to give them a good game, and they're going to right a few of the wrongs that have taken place in the last few weeks. I just think we've seen this cyclical pattern out of the Patriots where, all right, you get a few bad games in a row, you get that one that pops up, and why not against a divisional opponent today on the road when everyone expects one thing? That's when I tend to lean the opposite and go the other way.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing today.
I don't want to spoil anything, but the Bills are will be missing some defensive starters today. So, yeah, the Inactives are coming shortly.
All right.
No, they are out.
They're out.
They're out.
All right.
You want to hit them with us now? Go ahead. Let's hear the Inactives, Tamara.
Out. Buffalo Bills wide receiver Curtis Samuel, DeMar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp, Rasul Douglas, Matt Milano, Tylen Grabble, Dwayne Carter. For the Patriots, Jabril Peppers, Marcus Jones, Jermichael Hasty, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. Is it Lecitus Smith,
Yep.
Tyrese Robinson, and then, of course, Joe Milton is the emergency quarterback.
Okay.
So I was not expecting Milano. I didn't know he was injured. Everybody else was hurt. Douglas didn't play last week. Rapp has been hurt. I didn't know about Milano's problem.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, he was out for a while, right?
And Hamlin's been hurt too, I think.
Yeah. And just in terms of the Patriots, Jabril Peppers a little bit of a surprise there.
That's
Marte Mapu back in, and Alex Erickson signing to the practice squad. He was elevated yesterday, so maybe he'll handle some punt return duties if the Patriots defense forces some punts. And Cole Strange is active, so
huge asterisk.
And does this mean we're going to see Terrell Jennings?
And Terrell Jennings as well. So yeah, with Hasty being out, and then Paul and I really intrigued by
we like Jennings
this year. He runs hard, tackle breaker. I think in end of the year, good to get him an opportunity and see what he has.
Maybe fresh legs.
Fresh legs.
Because I think that's your path to competitiveness is running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills don't allow a ton of running yards, like overall, but the average per carry is high. And my 30,000-foot view of that is that they're almost always ahead, so the other team can't continue to run the ball. But I think the Patriots should be able to have some success trying to establish the run early in the game. Whether or not they stay competitive long enough for it to be a real factor, we'll see.
I'm curious, with Cole Strange being active, where we'll see him in the offensive line and how much.
Well, it's going to be center.
Center, yeah. Sounds
especially
like
according to Scott Peters.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's what he said on, I guess, Thursday. Yeah,
so I have a little bit of an update on that, if
Please.
you guys want. So Scott Peters talked about, he was asked a lot of questions about Ben Brown and the snaps last game. And in case anybody's watching and you see Hardy accosting me, Sam Laporta just caught a touchdown pass.
Right in the bread basket.
34-14.
Those guys are falling down.
What was that? Was that a low snap?
Well, yeah, Goff likes to fall down sometimes. Sometimes when they're going for it on fourth and inches after they got stuffed on third
the weird
inches,
part of that
they
was
could've
Gibbs,
just
though.
Kick a field goal.
They were
Gibbs
both
fall
like tripping.
for?
Yeah, that was weird.
Anyway, so the snaps, I guess there was a problem. Obviously they're playing in Arizona, desert heat and all that. A lot of sweat, perspiration, and there was a towel involved that ended up leading to some of those bad snaps. And they removed that towel, and that's why you didn't see any bad snaps in the second half.
Oh.
I don't know if it was tucked into the pants a little bit too much and it was affecting the snap, but Scott Peters talked about that, and he actually said Cole Strange has been almost all at center.
Deuce, do you have some anatomy? Is it anatomically related?
No.
Reasoning
I was
behind
going
that?
towards a South Park towely joke, but I couldn't come up with it fast enough, so we'll just let it ride.
Well, let's let that ride. Paul's going to step out, take care of his duties with the flagship over there, and we will step aside also. We do want to thank Bridgestone, official tire of the New England Patriots. Proud to partner with Sullivan Tire, New England's headquarters for quality Bridgestone tires. Visit sullivantire.com to find a location near you.
Without good blocking, your team's not going anywhere. Cisco blocks cyber attacks for customers around the world, including the entire Fortune 100 and the NFL. Because when the game is on the line, and it's always on the line, the NFL relies on Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Without good blocking, your team's not going anywhere. Cisco blocks cyber attacks for customers around the world, including the entire Fortune 100 and the NFL. Because when the game is on the line, and it's always on the line, the NFL relies on Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
Join the conversation by calling into the TPX hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at podcast@patriots.com. Now, live from our studios, here is Matt Smith.
Get it. Go, 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 Shorty. It's your birthday.
It's Tamara's birthday in 3 days.
All right. You're not really a shorty, though, are you?
No.
Well,
I mean, I am kind of short. Yeah.
In terms of the usage of the term,
be a shorty in the slang.
Yeah, it is. It is a catch-all term for the female.
Oh,
shorty.
That's you.
Am I right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
1,000% correct.
I speak young person.
Oh my god.
I do.
Do you know what low taper fade is?
Yeah.
I speak middle school.
Do you like my fresh drip?
I tell you, man.
Do you like my game day fit?
No, I like Deuce's game day fit.
Oh.
It's really hot. I'm sweating. I'm not going to lie. It might not make it to post-game show.
There's another one that I just figured out the other day, and it's not. Is it Riz?
Yeah. Oh, the Riz. The Rizzler.
Hold on a second. Now I forgot. Riz was short for something else.
Charisma.
Thank you. Riz. That's what it means.
I speak middle school.
See, I knew.
It's true.
As soon as you said it, I knew.
I don't. You need a dictionary to talk to these kids now. I don't know.
Kids today, you could.
I tell you.
You could talk to your face turns blue. 855-PATS-500. That's the TPX hotline. What do you got, Tamara?
So I want to go back to the inactives for a second. Marcus Jones, not having him as a returner, I think it's gonna hurt, especially like
if they punt.
if they punt. You're right, because there was
they did not
there
punt
was a
once,
period of time where they didn't punt for
may not
like 6
present
games.
as a problem at all. Yeah, against the Bills specifically. It's only a couple of years ago where you didn't force a punt out of them once in 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, not having him as a returner is kind of scary because I'm like, who's going to do it?
I mean, to piggyback with you though, I think he's an underrated, solid season for Marcus Jones in all aspects, playing on defense, getting some offensive work. Love to see a little bit more of that. And as you said, every time he touches the ball on a return, like you come out of your seat a little bit, and there's not a lot of guys like that on the team right now. And when you look at pieces to build around, he's a piece, I think. I'd love to keep him around. I mean, he's got, what is he, his second, third year. So, I mean, he's got another year or two under contract, but he's got real dynamic movement skills, and that's just something this team needs in all aspects, and the more they can get him involved, the better.
And also in the secondary, with him not out, does that more time for, like, Alex Austin?
Yeah, I mean, Isaiah Bolden as well.
Okay.
Maybe Marcellus Dial moves up from getting some time, just primarily on special teams, but certainly somebody in the slot. And I think it's going to be a good challenge for these guys today. Especially Khalil Shakir is the leading receiver, kind of does most of his work from the slot. But I mean, another aspect of that too that hurts is not having Peppers, just more because it affects your depth. And these guys have 2 really good tight ends that are going to be coverage problems. And Kyle Duggar continues to be on the injury report. We know he hasn't had a great season, so it's going to put a lot of pressure on him. Jalen Hawkins, your guy Del Pettis. And we'll see Marty Mapu who gets back in the lineup. He's been in and out all year. Love to see him be able to get some momentum here at the end of the season. But, yeah, be a challenge, those guys covering slot.
It's weird because it's like
tight end.
You would think that with Diggs no longer in the picture that it would be, air quote, easier, because that's usually the biggest challenge for this Patriots defense going up against the Bills, obviously outside of Josh Allen. But not having him, it's like they're still just as good, maybe even better.
Yeah.
Especially now that they can actually run the football with James Cook. It's interesting.
Well, I mean, I think you got to give the Bills a lot of credit because a lot of these guys that are stepping up now are guys that they drafted. And Shakir was, real quiet his first couple years. You didn't see him becoming the leading scorer like this. And, then it just gives you the ability to go out and get Amari Cooper. And you don't need Amari Cooper to come in and be your savior and, do everything and be Stephon Diggs. It's just like they'll be playing the game and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah. Amari Cooper's on this team.
Right? Exactly.
You forget about him, and I mean, it's just across the board with the Bills.
Ironically, makes him more dangerous,
right?
When he's not relied upon, and you're not expecting it is one of those, as you just said it. Oh yeah, they have him.
Right, Cooper. Is
Darn
that
it,
Amari Cooper.
Rats.
Not again. Dang it.
Very quickly here, just want to remind you that this Patriots pregame fueled by Dunkin'. If your team runs on their fans, what do the fans run on? We should ask Matt Smith if this holds true for the Buffalo Bills fans, which he says are the
I think they're Buffalo wings for
best
them,
in the
probably.
league. When you kick off your day with Dunkin', we're with you all the way to the end zone. Make a run to Dunkin', official coffee run of the Patriots. Tony in Canada joining us here on the TPX hotline, 855-PATS-500. Tony, what's going on?
Hey, Hardy. Good to hear from you again.
Good to hear from you, Tony. How are things?
Good. Glad to see you on the show. So I calling in to give you my 2 cents worth. Question, do you know it would have even more of an effect if we were to get one person that could make more than a receiver, a first round, all-star, all-receiver? Do you know what would make even more of an effect?
What's that?
Is signing someone like Vrabel. But Kraft's not going to do it because he made his promise to Mayo, and plus I think it makes him look really bad if he fires him. If I was Kraft, that's what I would do. And the other thing is that I think we're all hoping that Mayo can become the kind of coach that Vrabel would be. Why don't we just get the guy, Vrabel? But
I would.
When you have a rookie quarterback first year and you have all these young players, the last thing you need is the same in your coaching staff. If you're going to have a lot of a rookie quarterback and rookie players and you're hoping to develop him, I want to see someone with experience. So I don't think that gets talked about enough. More about that. I think there should be more blame on Kraft. Kraft won't do it. And that's my 2 cents worth.
Okay,
so
thanks,
good
Tony.
to hear from you again.
All right, yeah, good to hear from you, too. I myself would aim higher. If I'm projecting toward what I wish for Gerard Mayo, call me crazy. How about a coach that's even projects to be, or I would want to be, better than Mike Vrabel? Mike Vrabel's a good coach, and he'll coach again, and I'm sure he'll be fine or even better than fine. But is he as high as you dare yourself dream? No, I think I can dream a little higher than Mike Vrabel in terms of what your head coach ends up being.
I think when you hire a coach who's never really coached before, you have to have a little bit of flexibility. I mean, I don't know where the line is, but you have to acknowledge when you gave Rob Maye the job that he hadn't really done it before. And so, there has to be some kind. You can't say, all right, good luck, you're going to coach now, and it better be perfect or else like that. And I know we can sit here and debate about what the line is and how the team should look and, what they should have an identity and all those kind of things. But at the same time, like, you hired a guy who hadn't coached before, so you have to have a little bit of flexibility in your thinking, I think.
Let me ask you guys this. We're just playing a little catch-up here. By the way, how'd your chin wag go with the Sports Hub fellas?
Oh, must have been exciting.
It was fine.
It was fine?
Nothing
okay?
Nothing too outstanding. Most of the stuff that we had already talked about with Cole Strange and things like that.
All right.
Of course, because we cover it all here.
We cover it all.
Mm-hmm.
How much was made around here inside the walls of Gillette Stadium about Jerod Mayo's post-game comments about Drake Maye running the football, and you said it, I didn't?
A little bit. Talked about it on Tuesday. A little bit.
A little bit. What'd you make of it, Paul?
I mean, I know he clarified it and sort of indicated that he wasn't, but I mean, it's hard to come away from that comment and not think he's emotionally talking right after a loss.
Yep.
And lamenting the fact that they didn't go with a quarterback sneak. Now, I kind of look at it differently. Like, to me, the story was whether or not he was, upset with his offensive coordinator, not whether or not that they ran a quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
Which this whole thing, like, now magically you would have gotten it if you had just gone with a quarterback sneak.
No.
So those guys that didn't get blocked on 3rd and 4th and inches would have suddenly been blocked if you had gone with a quarterback sneak. Like, so that kind of irritated me. But these are the things that Mayo, he's even joking about it. It's like, walk it back. I'll just, I'll walk that back. Like, no, stop saying things that you have to walk back.
Yeah.
And I just would like to see some signs. I understand what Mike's saying, and I'm on board with Mike 1,000%. Like, you knew there was a lot of inexperience with your coaching staff, so you had to know that you were going to experience a season kind of like this. But let's learn from it. Let's get better from it. Let's start doing things less that we were doing earlier in the season. And really, I haven't seen a lot of examples of things that are sort of improving, including that.
It's hard when you keep saying things and you keep becoming the storyline. And, it's not just about the team even. It's about what the coach said. And you want to step out of that and let everyone focus on the team for better or worse.
Right.
Don't make the problem worse by, stepping in it. That's, one thing that he needs to continue to improve.
All right. Let's grab some of these emails here, too, that are rolling into podcast@patriots.com. This is from Jay in Maryland. Hardy, why do I hate Josh Allen so much? Is it the diving or just his face?
Diving?
I do not
Josh Allen?
It's a train.
It's like a truck.
Maybe diving forward for extra yards is what he means.
Oh, diving over a linebacker to break his hand in the first game of the season.
Maybe that's what he means. I do not like the new Madden NFL QBs. I prefer just an old school pocket passer. Thanks and Merry Christmas, Jay Clark in Maryland.
Real happy for you. Welcome to 1982.
Somebody, I've heard this too plenty of times leading up to this Buffalo game, that if kind of on the heels of what Tony in Canada said about Jerod Mayo someday morphing into Mike Vrabel, is Drake Maye maybe project to be something along the lines of Josh Allen?
I mean, that's the comp that some people talk about.
That was part of my chin wag. Go ahead, Mike.
I think everybody wants to pump the brakes on all these comparisons. And, I mean, Josh Allen's a special player. And what's my favorite saying? Comparison is the thief of joy, right? Everything has to be, he's like this. He's like,
Why do I feel like I have no idea what anybody is like?
I've heard that comparison is a shortcut to thinking.
That's a good one, too. I can't grasp my brain around something unique and interesting.
No, that's a Robbie Road steamer.
Oh, okay.
Josh Allen's a super special player, and I think it takes away from both those guys. And look, they have some similar traits, and Alex Van Pelt walked through the same thing this week in his press conference of, certainly there are, when you're scouting the guys, they have good size, they have good arm. But Josh Allen is, like we said, a freight train.
So do we not like Drake Maye's style because he's not a pure pocket passer? This is the way these guys play now. I understand, Brady and Manning aren't that old. They both left the game, within the last 5 years. But give me more of those.
Yeah.
It's Mahomes, it's Allen, it's Hurts, it's, Lamar Jackson. These are the guys that are winning MVPs.
Yeah.
These are the guys that are advancing in the playoffs now. I think I'm not telling you absolutely have to have that kind of ability, but I think it's really hard in this era to just succeed purely from the pocket.
I know, whether it's Brady or Manning or Aaron Rodgers in his prime, those guys who were just so accurate and so good at passing the football, that would be great. What's wrong with having somebody who can pick up yards with his feet and also bulldoze some linebackers and absolutely make a mockery out of safeties who are trying and tackle them? That's fun. I have no problem watching that style of football. The only problem I have with it is if they get injured. Josh Allen, he didn't get hurt a whole lot. If he can continue to play that way, good for him. Bad for you as a Patriots fan, but good for Buffalo and good for Josh Allen.
I think that's a great point, Hardy. And, I know R.A. McDermott wants to sort of limit those hits. Yeah. And they keep talking about it every offseason. And then literally in the very first game of the year, he's jumping over a linebacker into the end zone, landed on his hand, and broke it. He's played the whole season with a fractured hand. Yeah. So you just can't stop him from playing the way he wants to play.
That's how players are. I mean, you see it in Drake. I mean, even after he got concussed,
Same
he still
thing.
came back.
He's
not
going to hook slide.
He's still going to be aggressive.
No.
I think there's some nuance to this discussion, though, where you can say, and we've talked about it a lot, with running read option in the red zone or, limiting the hits but using his legs and not, we're not running him in the middle of the field and, letting him do what Lamar does. I mean, he's not that kind of runner. But I think it's excellent to have, especially, nobody hates it more than me on a 3rd and long. Everybody's covered, and all of a sudden, Drake Maye just goes and picks up a first down. That's a great skill to have on 3rd downs. And but I don't need to see designed runs or anything like that in the middle of the field. Use it, short yardage situations, limit the hits. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Drake's going to do what Drake does and makes him great. And so you can't tell him don't run. He's got to play the game. He knows how to play it,
especially in the red zone. They've had so many
short
red zone
yardage
struggles.
stuff.
What were you trying to indicate to me just
well,
there?
they just, your boy just went for another your boy just went for another 4th down, inside the 15. Just kick the field goal, make it a 20-point game. What are we doing?
Well, it was 4th and 3, so that's only 9 feet, Paul. It's not a lot.
When you say it like that, feet.
Well, they didn't get any of them.
You know what I liked? I liked last week the onside kick with 12 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
It's another egregiously bad over-aggressive play.
Does that scare you as a Lions fan, though, going into the playoffs, that he's going to have one of these moments of
because I'm with them. I'm rooting for Hardy so much that you can't even believe it. But I just feel like he's going to do it again.
You know what scares me? As much as I think I'm used to it, Dan Campbell keeps coming up with new ways to scare me. That's what scares me. I did not have onside kick with 12 minutes left in the 4th on my bingo card for this season, but there it popped up.
Especially now with the new rules on the kickoffs, you could talk me into that with 12 minutes left under the old way. Well, maybe the other team's not quite prepared for it. Now you have to declare that you're onside kicking. So it's not even the element of surprise.
Right.
Yeah, and you could, this one is not a new fear. This was not a new fear unlocked, but perhaps he decided to do that because he thought, statistically, odds are better of us recovering this onside kick than of our defense stopping the Bills from scoring another touchdown. So that's
what are the odds of the guy returning it for a touchdown? Because isn't that what happened? Yeah. Didn't Mac Hollins return that one for a touchdown?
The onside kick?
Yeah, didn't happen?
No.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't watch those games.
Oh. Yeah. Well, it was on at the same time as the
Deuce only pouts. Yeah. He only pouts. It's unbelievable.
Although, Paul, I'm curious about the fair catch. What do you call it? In the Chargers game. I didn't even know that existed in the game.
So,
fair catch free kick.
It's a fairly and I'm not trying to be the amount of people that lost their minds over that. It just happened a couple of years ago. They haven't made the kick in a long time. Mm-hmm. I think it was the mid-'70s was the last time someone actually made the kick. But people try it all the time, including Jim Harbaugh. Come on, Harbaugh. He tried it when he was in San Francisco. The amount of people that just go crazy on those plays, I always get a huge kick out of it. Fred's texting me like he's sending me tweets of other people. I'm like, have these people ever watched football before?
Well, it's just the circumstances have to be so
It's a unique
situation, yeah, where you're going to be in a field position to actually attempt that thing. But I mean, I had heard of it. I can't remember the one that happened a couple of years ago, but I knew that it was a possibility. Like, I didn't know that rule. It's like, no, somewhere in my head I knew that you could do that.
I didn't.
It's a free kick.
I always think because Paul being like,
just so you know, you could do that. You could do that on any play.
Just do it.
Like, if you fair catch, like in the middle of the first quarter, you can try a free kick after that. Now, obviously, you wouldn't do it unless there was no time left at a time. And people were even messing that part of it up, like because there was like the offensive penalty, it was an untimed down.
Yeah.
I mean, the coverage penalty, untimed down, that had nothing to do with it. If there was 4 seconds left, they could still do it. It doesn't have to be no time left. Bill
Oh, I'm sure he
And if you were here the entirety of Bill,
what's your thing?
Like I can't even imagine what Bill must have been so mad that someone else was able to do that.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Well, Jim Harbaugh seems like he was very excited. He finally got to do it.
I did the drop kick.
I don't know.
Let's go to London, who is in Pittsfield. London, thanks
sound
for...
like you're from London.
Yeah.
I'm London.
No, I am London. He is London in Pittsfield. What's going on?
Hey guys, you guys were talking about comps, so I just wanted to give you something to nibble on. With the 4:00 games coming up, and with the Buccaneers and stuff like that, because there's a lot of chatter about T. Higgins. I just don't think we're gonna get it done for some reason. But I'm thinking maybe what's his name? The injured receiver to the number 2. What is it? Godwin. Yeah, I feel like that might be the play. And maybe going after Ted McMillan, and then maybe re-emulating what the Bucs have got going on, because there's a whole comp with Ted being like Mike Evans, and Mike Evans is going for that record at the 4:00 game. So I just wanted to give you guys something like that to nibble on, because I feel like the main objective, if we're not going to get Higgins, should be going after those offensive linemen, Trey Smith and Cam Robinson. So, I mean, we're going to see how good Wolf is as a GM. If we do end up getting Higgins, what's it going to take to get him? Are we going to trade a draft pick? So, I mean, I just want to give you guys something to nibble on with the games coming up.
Yeah, I think.
Thanks, London.
I think it's a little bit of intrigue there. I mean, we talked about it. T. Higgins going to have a lot of suitors. He's clearly the prime guy who we're guessing is going to hit free agency. I don't hate the Godwin. I don't hate the Godwin move.
I do. I don't want another guy coming off a torn ACL. Can we just have a healthy player who might be able to contribute all of OTAs and into training camp, and not have to try to see if we can circumvent paying the money that it costs to get a good player, and see if we that's Red Sox. The Red Sox do that all the time. They just did it again on Friday with that Patrick Sandoval pick. Stop going after Tommy John surgery guys, and get guys that are actually healthy and ready to play.
Fair enough. I just don't know who the guys are. I don't know who
T.
they are.
Higgins is the guy.
I know, but if it's not T. Higgins, who?
I mean,
Hollywood Brown, Amari Cooper, Rondale Moore.
I would
Moore.
rather have any of those guys than Chris Godwin.
Really?
Who's not going to be able to play when you need him to play.
Right.
So I don't care how good or bad those guys are compared to Chris Godwin. They'll be on the field, so they'll at least have a chance to contribute when the season starts. I don't really envision Godwin being ready at the start of the season, like Kendrick Bourne this year.
The greatest ability, which is?
Availability.
There you go.
And I just wanted to correct my mistake, because Mike expects a lot out of me.
Sure.
So the onside kick that last week that happened with 12 minutes left in the game, as Hardy points out, was returned 38 yards to the Lions 5.
Right, but
so not returned for a touchdown.
Not a touchdown,
just
but
returned by Matt Collins to the 5.
You saw how loath I was to disagree with Paul, because he remembers plays that he didn't even see, and I know you weren't watching that one live, but I'm like, I don't remember that, but my gut tells me he's right, because you're never wrong.
No, that's got to be your default.
And just to clarify the whole Chris Godwin thing, if Chris Godwin were healthy, I'd be 1,000% on board with, and so if you're telling me he's going to be ready to go by training camp, not the first regular season, but he can have a full training camp, I'm on board with Mike. He's a good solid option right with T. Higgins. I'd rather have Higgins, But I'll take Godwin if he's ready to go.
But why? What's the rush?
Because Kendrick Bourne gave you nothing this year.
Well, but that's Kendrick Bourne. You hate Kendrick Bourne.
But that's receivers coming off torn ACLs. That's what they're going to give you. They're going to miss half the year and be a shell of themselves for the rest of the year.
But is this a long-term thing?
Even Welker didn't have a. Oh no, Chris Godwin.
I mean, I'm saying
Chris Godwin's
2-3
not a
years.
long-term.
No,
thing.
I know, but 2-3 years. If you lose the first 6 months of a 3-year deal, the guy can still.
Yeah,
play.
I don't know if I'm. I don't know if I can expect Chris Godwin to be around in 3 years. A lot of injuries there, a lot of wear and tear.
Well, what interests me is you seem like you're really hell bent on getting out of the gate well next year. Is that it?
Well, not necessarily like getting out of the gate. I just want him to be available. And that part of it is, you kind of did. Like, you're right. Like, I do think the start next year is going to be important because those coaches are going to be on the hot seat to start the season, and you need to have some success. And you need to give Drake Maye someone that he can work with.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be able to work with him, more than likely. Now, if I'm wrong and he's going to be healthy, and you can get like a full training camp out of him, all board. Because Chris Godwin's a good player.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure people don't think that I'm like comparing Bourne and Godwin players, because Godwin's much better than Bourne.
No, I mean, I understand the point of wanting to get guys right in with Drake, and I just the thing I'm struggling with is there just isn't. After everyone's going to just say, "What about T. Higgins? What about T. Higgins?" Like, what if T. Higgins just resigns with the Bengals? You know, you're going to have to sign somebody that probably a good chunk of the fan base is going to be like, he's too old, or he's coming hurt, or there's going to be every single other guy on there. Even like Amari Cooper, which, I'd be open to that one too.
That one I would take.
Yeah.
If I can't get T. Higgins, I'd be very much interested in Amari Cooper.
Well,
I think that'd be a good kind of veteran receiver to put with Drake.
I'm just glad that the conversation about wide receivers
It's a 3-year difference, too, between T. Higgins and Godwin.
Oof. Okay.
So 26
25
and
28.
25 and 28.
Yeah, okay, that's real. I'm just glad the conversation's focused on trades and free agent acquisitions, because in the draft, the Patriots need to get
tackle.
Thank you. All right, just so we're all on the same page.
They need everything.
Yeah, I mean, they really
What do they need first?
What I would want first in a perfect world is a left tackle.
Thank you. Okay,
But
that's all.
But unfortunately, the world ain't perfect, and there's no left tackle worthy of taking in the top 5.
That kid from LSU's got short arms. So what?
And a lot of people think he's a guard.
Yeah.
Put big gloves on him.
Yeah. You know,
you can extend the
Hardy,
fingers out with big gloves.
But you know me well enough to know that I have absolutely no research done on the draft.
Oh,
no. You know that I'm not
in the words,
offensive line especially.
In the words of Michael Felger, do O-line talk on your own time. But I look at the O-line and I know, he's only going to be a really good guard. I thought, okay, we'll take him. We'll take him.
I mean, the caller mentioned Cam Robinson as a potential, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Ronnie Staley's going to meet.
You mean those kinds of guys you can sign? Why do you want to do that, Mike? You didn't think Jonah Williams, not you. I'm not talking to you personally. I
feel attacked right now.
That's what bad teams do, Mike. They draft these they sign these guys that aren't that good. Absolutely. Absolutely be interested in Cam Robinson. If I can't get a stud that I know I'm going to plug in day one, like old Fashanu for the Jets was a top 10 pick, and he's been really good for them. He's got some penalties once in a while, but he's been really good for the Jets. He didn't start week 1. He wasn't ready to just plug and play. Even when you get the blue chipper, he's not always just put him in. Oh, wow, big fumble by Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow on a 3rd and goal play. That's not good. Not a good turnover there. So it's hard to just plug and play a left tackle, and I get that. So why not cover your bases?
Yeah.
And then if Cam Robinson, if you don't have to play him, so what? Then you don't have to play him.
Oh, geez. I mean, I can't even imagine having that problem. But to come out of free agency with at least one of those tackle spots where you're like, we have an NFL starter at this spot, hopefully on the left side, but I think it's a huge, huge need.
Kendall is in North Carolina. Oh, so is Eldred. 2 calls from North Carolina.
We're huge in North Carolina.
Eldred,
now.
You've been holding longer. Eldred, I always want to talk to you anyway. You and Kendall, but Eldred especially. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Mr. Hardy? Long time no hear. Glad to hear from you.
It's great to hear from you.
Fellas.
What's up, Big E?
Yes, sir. What's up, Paul? Hey, y'all forget one name. I want him in 219, but we got to confound Harry. DK Metcalf. I'll throw money at him and go get him.
Yeah, well, you got to trade for him.
Y'all keep. I don't give a darn.
No, I'm just saying. So now you got to give up. Now you got to give up draft picks and money.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
You're not going to give up a 1. You probably give up a 2.
Yeah, do you
you know, or maybe
right.
I'll give up a 2 for him. Yes, I would.
Okay, so
Then
now
when
you
you
don't.
got the receiver, you still got the 1 and try to find a tackle.
Mike, you know who just caught that pass for the Cardinals?
Oh, I'm sorry that we got red zone. We got red zone everybody here right now, Aldred. Yeah.
Dortch is torture.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a bad plan. So that's when you want to know the over the top aggressive Andy Hart plan that Andy and I talked about on his lame podcast that I had to do.
What's his plan?
Micah Parsons and DK Metcalf in trades. So he just wants to forfeit all the draft
Trade
picks.
everybody.
Yeah, I'll trade you.
Now, Michael Parsons ain't going nowhere. Dallas ain't gonna get rid of him.
I agree.
He ain't going nowhere.
I agree, and I do think, to your point, Big E, I do think there's a chance that DK Metcalf will be available. I think he could probably be had for the right price.
Because Higgins gonna stay with Cincinnati. They ain't breaking up that trio. I don't care what it takes.
I don't
They're
know
not
about
breaking
that.
up that trio. I think so.
I would keep it together if I were them, but I don't know if they'll be able to because they're going to have to pay Chase too.
Okay. Yep,
There's Elijah Moore right there, Mike. I'll take him.
Eldred, good talking to you, buddy. Thanks for
we're
checking
wearing
in.
the dirty pants with the white today?
Indeed.
Oh, yes, the Patriots in their Depression-era orphanage
Thank
gray.
you. Thank you. I'm the only one. I get made fun of every week. The pants are dirty.
The gray pants with the white
Dirty.
jersey.
I don't think Drake looks that cold. I'm pretty impressed. Initial impression, Drake May freezing cold. Doesn't look that cold.
Doesn't
Doesn't
cold.
have the scuba hood on, and I like it.
He does not have the Mac Jones look.
No.
But he is putting those hands right in the pouch after every throw.
I'd rather he do that than be wearing that skull hoodie. I'm with Deuce. I don't appreciate
like
that.
Brady?
Oh,
Yeah, what did he ever win doing that?
Right, exactly.
Right.
It looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like...
and a man in his
do you remember
position can't afford to be made to look ridiculous.
I might be misremembering this. I'm sure you guys will have it. But remember in Splash?
Splash.
Of course.
With Eugene Levy
We're,
when he was
not going to the island.
when he's scuba diving, when he just looks ridiculous. Like that's, I don't know. Always brought back memories of that.
Let's pee down his air hose. Kendall in North Carolina. Hello, Kendall.
I do not know that one.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey.
Good. My question is for Paul, but y'all can still chime in. I would like to have all y'all opinions too.
Now I'm going to take a powder.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll smoke break.
But I like the wide receiver position. What wide receiver you think on the roster currently going into next year is automatically guaranteed a spot? And number two, with Pop Douglas, do y'all think we could? What y'all think his feeling is? You think we can do better than him? I like Pop, but do y'all think we could do better than him? Because I think he's like a 3 maybe. Maybe a high 2, but I say a 3.
I think
a 4. Think we could do better than him?
I think you could do better than him. And in terms of who is definitely going to be on the roster next year, I would say I don't have anybody.
The two rookies probably.
Well, you're going to ask me who I think will be around. Yeah, I don't think they'll get rid of Jalen Polk.
No,
but
that's a good call.
I agree with the rookie thing.
But I don't have anybody that I'm going to tell you right now is definitely on the team next year.
I would
in that room.
Right.
I would say Douglas. And I agree with what Paul said.
Again,
I think they knew.
If you're asking me if I think, I'm with you.
He can get open, and he's got quickness. He's got traits. Is he perfect? No. But I think with a couple players above him that are really moving the needle, that he could be even more effective. So you can only fill so many holes. There's so much to do. You look at Pop Douglas as your slot receiver. I'm fine with him for 2025.
See, this is where Mike and I are lockstep. Because if you get a couple of guys that are above him, now he can be that gadget guy as the complementary piece.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
I don't think he's Tank Dell. And I hope Tank Dell is okay.
He doesn't
but,
have that explosiveness. I
that's,
know everybody wants him to be that. Tyreek Hill, dollar store Tyreek Hill. He does not have that kind of explosiveness to his game.
No. He's got some twitch.
Email here from Brennan Clinton.
Greg Dortch.
That's
what he is.
Free agent, I think. Put him on the list.
Yeah. Right.
Just fun to say.
Write him
Dortch.
down.
We're scorching him with Dortch.
Tutu Atwell.
The Dorchman.
Wait, what was the other one you have from Jackson? What was that other receiver that you were
Kiki Kuti.
What's with you and the weird
DB Cooper?
Got away with it somehow.
I
think they solved that, though, didn't they?
There's a pretty good chance
it seems like every 2 months the History Channel has and does new evidence prove who DB Cooper really was?
Yeah, there's a couple of really good suspects.
Sometimes you guys have conversations. I don't even know what the hell is going on.
You don't know who D.B. Cooper is?
No.
Guy.
Oh, my God, Guy. Come on, Guy.
He's not the guy in, what's the toe pick? What's that Cooper?
D.B. Sweeney.
That's D.B. Sweeney.
No.
This is D.B. Cooper, the alleged
Toe pick.
hijacker.
And he jumped out of a 747 or something crazy.
Oh, I know the story. I just didn't know
Never
the guy's
to
name.
be found again.
Yeah, see, now I know what you're talking about. But I didn't know the name.
Brennan Clinton Mass says, I would like to see AVP take chances early and often. Conservative play calling needs to go over the rest of the season. Play action should be a bigger part of the game. AVP needs to risk turnover. Here's something I would
another
wish.
one that agrees with me.
Here was something I would wish for if we could go back in time. And that is just be more aggressive in the play calling and the overall philosophy of the team from, let's go back to week 3. All right? You got to win in week 1. Maybe water found its level a little bit in week 2. Right then, from the jump, take a little bit of the Dan Campbell philosophy. Say, you know what? We're just going to be nuts. We're going to be crazy. We're going to go out on 4th down when we shouldn't. We're going to do all this stuff and have that as part of your mentality and part of your identity going forward for the rest of the season. Because now we can all go back and we can find certain plays and certain circumstances where it would have been nice had they been more aggressive. Just be that way all the time. In hindsight, what did you have to lose? And it would have been a fun way to watch this team and see them build a bit of an identity. And then when you do get better with some new personnel and some changes and some additions and whatever for next year, now you got a little bit of this crazy built in too, and it makes them a more dangerous football team.
We don't even care. We're crazy. We'll do anything. We don't care.
Outside of Drake Maye, they're the furthest thing from dangerous right now.
Oh yeah.
It would be fun to have that as part of your DNA. But it's too late now.
Yeah.
So
I'm feeling a little dangerous today. It was just Christmas week. I don't know.
Oh, is that you feel dangerous during Christmas?
Get crazy.
Fucking weirdo he is.
He really is.
Did you ever go to Five Below?
You
That
know
place
what, though?
is meant for stocking shopping, by the way.
He's a great fella, but he is crazy.
Deuce?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great fella.
Got to be a little crazy
It's weird.
to survive.
He looks at me sometimes and he has these like crazy eyes going.
You know what I did last year at Five Below? And I thought this was
Did you
a real.
spend 5 or below on an item?
I went and bought a total of 5 gifts at Five Below, and I put them in I did the Yankee swap shopping for the entire family, for the 4 of us and my mother-in-law. I said we're all gonna just pick, you pick a gift and we're gonna do it. And they could not have been less interested in my Five Below Yankee swap. So you know what? Just like the Christmas lights
blame
this
it on
year.
Five Below.
No, they were great gifts, just like the Christmas lights this year, where Blondie told me she thought there were 2 different color whites in the different lights that I had out there. Some were LED, others
Did you get a
were
temperature reading
incandescent.
on those?
Yeah. So she wanted, maybe to hire somebody to come do lights this year. I
that's an
said, why don't you
assault.
just tell me you're leaving me and the kids for the mailman while you're at it? And B, you don't like my light design after all these years? Well, no, you don't get anything.
Oh,
Would that hurt extra if you left like for the mailman? Because I'm sure that you were on a first name basis with.
Well,
said
number one,
mailman.
Stevie would not do that to me or the family.
But I knew it.
I got a quick Christmas light story this year. So I take them all out. Every year it's an adventure. Which ones are going to work, which ones aren't. I was left with like 3 strings, 2 white, one with the colors, which I like the color personally. I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't have enough to do the whole front of the house. So I'm just going to wrap them around the tree. And I went like, tight wrap white, and then our tree split. So I did white up the first one, then colors to one side and white to the other, right? And I'm like,
Yikes.
all right, it looks fine. And I told my wife, and she loves Christmas lights, and she was like, so they're just going to, you're going to have the 2 colors there? They're just going to split up at the, I was like, yeah, I said, all right, sorry. She didn't care for my choice.
As somebody
My
who has a
stylistic
bit of an
choice.
artistic side to him, I'm surprised you made that choice.
Yeah, that's
Were you going color?
That's out of Paul's playbook.
To like color on the bottom and then white up
not
the 2?
Mike's.
That's probably what I should have done.
Either
I'm
go
sorry,
colored
lady.
lights or, and especially on one tree. Yeah, you had whites and
You
colored
get in
on
the
one
bushes,
tree.
you get all tangled up.
At the risk of bringing this back to the game, briefly.
Why?
Which game?
Just seeing some of the
Patriots.
shots of the warm-ups.
Guy.
Just saw a click of Javon Baker.
There we go.
Who I thought was interesting. That Mike Reese this morning had sort of a tweet that seemed to indicate that maybe you'll see a little bit of him today.
Yeah.
Instead of Jalen Polk, sort of surmised that might be a possibility. And then we saw a shot of Alex Erickson. Did I get that right?
100%.
Alex Erickson, yeah, who I would assume will be returning punts today with no Marcus Jones available.
Punt,
Good point. Good point by you, but he's wearing number 14.
Steve
Grogan. So Erickson's been around. He's a veteran of 8 or 9 seasons. Cincinnati, Carolina, I think Washington.
Kicked around.
He's been around for a while, despite the fact that one local paper called him an interesting prospect this morning.
Oh, at 32.
32-year-old prospect.
How about that?
It's quite a feat if he can pull it off.
Matt, just to clarify, we are not taking another break? Okay.
No breaks.
All right, but because there were 2 listed on the sheet, I looked at my prep. Okay.
That's the fake break.
I throw in the extra in case somebody needs to pee.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there's none of that here.
Signal for that.
So instead, let's get to this Sunday six-pack here.
Over-unders. It's time for this week's edition of Over-Unders.
Or that. Let's get to the overs and the unders, and we will find out who's been doing what this season in the over-unders. Let me take a look here. Oh my! How about this? You want to rattle them off here, Marine Matt?
So last week, everybody went 4-2. On the season, you got Paul 55-29, No
Uncatchable.
Socks 49-35, and Mike 47-37.
This is the contest. It is the race for second place.
Yeah.
Between Mike and Matt.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Paul's got a feel for the team.
I have
in the league.
I have Matt's over-unders here, so I will not be participating. I will just be giving his answers.
Okay.
All
Feel
right.
free to give judgment on his answers, though.
Oh,
Drake
I
May
absolutely
passing yards, 204.5.
Drake May passing yards, 204.5. Paul, we start with you.
I will take the over on that. I believe the Patriots will need to score some points today.
Yeah, I'll throw the over on that too. Let Drake let it rip.
Make it unanimous. Matt also going over.
Josh Allen passing yards, 237.5.
Start with Deuce.
It's amazing to have a host that knows how this works.
The interim host really struggles with that.
It's a rotation. Did you ever play Snake in fantasy? No. You know what? I'm going to go. He's the MVP. I got to go over, even if I don't think he's going to have to throw for a lot of yards today. But I'm going to go over. Just he's too good.
No Socks agrees with you. He is also going over.
And I am going to take the under because I think if you look back at the yards thrown for in some of these games that they're scoring a ton of points, it's not always as high as you think.
Yeah.
A lot of running.
Balanced.
Drake May pass attempts, 31.5.
Oh, dear.
31.5. It does sound high-ish. Definitely sounds high to Matt. He is going under.
I'm going to take the over on that. Again, I think they're going to need to score some points.
Action. Love the action.
Yeah, I'm going to go over on that one too.
Oh.
A lot of chucks.
A lot of action.
Chuck it.
Khalil Shakir receiving yards, 54.5.
Paul, back to you.
Ooh, interesting.
54.5. I'm going to take the over on that. I think Shakir is developing nicely.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the over too. Although, I wonder with just Marcus Jones out, maybe the Patriots use Gonzo on him a little bit in key spots. But I'll go over for Shakir.
A lot of overs this week. Matt also going over on the Shakir receiving
and
yards.
Mike brings up a good point. I'll feel awfully different about that if I find out that Gonzalez is covering him. I don't think that you will.
Yeah.
Wow, good little comeback here by the Titans.
Don't call it a comeback.
Getting within a score here, 38-30 with still 2:53 left. I think
Well, Rudolph, the week of Christmas.
I want to say it was 38-7 at one point in this game.
Leading the sleigh through the night.
Ramondre Stevenson rushing yards, 47.5.
Deuce, what do you got?
Whoo! You know what? I think it's going to be a game where he does not go that high. So I'm going to go under on that one for whatever reason.
No action out of No Socks on this. He's also going under.
I'll take the over. Bills struggle stopping
And
the run.
Total score, 46.5.
I don't know what Matt's actual score prediction is, but in terms of the total, he is going over. Paul?
I am going over as well.
I'll go under. Make it interesting.
Yeah, there we go. Action is the juice.
Juice. Give me the juice.
All right, well done.
I like it, the juice.
Well done. Let's go to
Juice
Joel
is
in San Antonio here. Let's see what he has to say about today's game as the Patriots visit the Bills. Go ahead, Joel.
Hey, guys. First of all, Merry Christmas. Good to hear from you, Hardy, again. I want to go and ask a question. Nothing about what's been said about the Pats. There's nothing much to say. We all know what's going on and whatnot. So, in the spirit of curiosity, I'm more of a traditional, old school kind of guy, and I don't like change that much. So the question is, how do you guys feel about the NFL games on Christmas Day, when traditionally you have NBA on Christmas, New Year's is hockey, 4th of July is baseball, Thanksgiving is football. So how do you guys feel about the Christmas Day football games? And go Pats. That's all I got.
Okay.
This is good. This is a good question.
I don't care for it. Number one, I don't mind having something on TV other than A Christmas Story or Christmas Vacation, especially as the kids get older, and especially when they're young. Christmas is over by 10 a.m.
Exactly.
Christmas is done, and then it's just a lot of waiting around. And at some point, I would like a football game to watch. What I do not care for, based on the Tyson-Jake Paul fight, is relying on a certain streaming platform to show me all of the games.
So is that a concern for everybody?
It's a huge concern for
even
me.
I'm sure I'll have Netflix on. Like, am I going to have to worry about that?
Yes. I think
out on me?
Well, I don't know if you want to worry about it, but, I mean, did you try and watch that fight?
I did not.
Well, you couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. I ended up you know how I watched that fight? Antonio Brown was live streaming it. He was at the fight.
Oh, yeah?
And he had it up on his live Instagram. And he just pointed his phone at the huge screen that hangs over the middle of the AT&T Stadium. And me, along with 6 million people, watched the fight that way on my phone.
That's hilarious.
So
hope he ran some ads or something for Antonio Brown.
I know the
moving
NFL
services or something.
The NFL had conversations with Netflix immediately afterward because they were thinking the same thing. You guys going to be able to handle all this? And they, sure, it was a glitch. We fixed the glitch.
Wasn't there a glitch during the Paul fight too? Wasn't that was a problem with them as well?
Well, that was that's the whole thing.
Original one. I thought you were talking about last night's the fight for Tyson Fury.
Oh no, it was Tyson Jake Paul.
That one?
Yeah, that was.
I thought you were talking.
I only said it
he
once.
He said Tyson, and you thought he meant.
I thought last night Fury, of course.
Fair. You know what?
I said Tyson. Fair. I said Tyson Jake Paul.
Okay. Hardy, I knew what you were talking about.
But it was,
and as you know, I half the time I'm not even watching and listening. I'm watching the Red Sox.
He's mentally logging every game that got played at 1 o'clock so he can spit it back out at us, and we'll be like, "What? When did he see that?"
Now you know what bugs me too, Deuce.
You guys have a lot in common with Scott Hansen. That's why you don't understand what's going on.
He does a great job.
It's a gift.
This is what bugs me about the streaming games, whether it's Amazon or Netflix on Christmas Day. I like to bounce back and forth between stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I like to watch other stuff.
Yeah.
You can't. No. You exit out of the app. It's like, oh, wait, hold on a second.
See you in 20 minutes.
Well, that's my big problem. I would probably be more excited about watching the Christmas Day games if it was just, I watched the games yesterday.
Of course.
The Kansas City game, and I watched the Steelers-Ravens game.
As did I.
But
because I could watch other stuff, too.
Well, yeah, because I'm toggling back and forth to the college games. And if the college games had been remotely competitive, I probably would have watched more of them.
Right.
But it just makes it really difficult to do that. You can't go back and forth. And
it's like someone should come up with something that brings all the channels into one place, and you can just kind of switch between anything you want to watch.
Yes,
like on demand.
It's called cable. Yeah.
Interesting.
He goes.
Just put them all on.
Wow.
Bad pick by Kyler Murray right here. Down a field goal, he forces one. Yeah, not a good play.
I just want to say thank you to Bud Light, by the way. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the New England Patriots. There, I said it. Are we doing the 6-pack now?
This is the Sunday 6-pack, so kick back and listen to my position. I'm itching to get the picks back. You better bring a big stack. Get it mixed, Jack. I came to win it, this is the Sunday 6-pack.
I have Matt's picks for the Sunday 6-pack, but where do you boys stand on your season-long picks right now?
Pretty bad.
Yeah, we do terrible in this.
This is not good.
Although some of us more than others.
I'm the worst, right?
No.
Oh, no.
Not according to this stats.
Last week, No Sox 4-2, Paul 3-3, Mike 2-4.
Ugh.
On the season, Mike and Paul 40, 42-2, No Sox 39, 43-2.
Ugh.
So now here's, I always, how I can't stand to be considered to be inept, right?
Yeah.
So here's the real conundrum with this.
Yeah.
We pick every single game with the spread. I am 125, 95, and 4. Mike is 123, 97, and 4.
But in these six
In these
games,
select 6 games, we're 500.
You're below 500. You're all sub 500.
Yeah. We get so focused on the Patriots game right before it that we're not thinking straight.
It happens. All right, we're going to switch it up a little bit. Deuce, you're going to start first in the Sunday six-pack.
Here we go. 12-2 Minnesota Vikings at the 8-6 Seattle Seahawks. Minnesota -2.5.
Yeah, usually I pick Seattle at home. I'm going Minnesota on the road. The Sam Darnold story continues.
Matt is also going Minnesota in this first selection.
Yeah, I'm going to make it unanimous. I think the Vikings has been a weird team that just finds a way to win all the time. They don't always impress, but 12-2 is a really good record. I'll go with the Vikings.
Good one right here. 3-11 Jacksonville Jaguars at the 2-12 Las Vegas Raiders. Vegas -2.5.
Vegas a favorite in this game. Have they won at home so far this year?
That's a good question.
I do not
believe
they have. Out of their 2 wins, I don't think either one of them
They
came
won
at
at Baltimore for one of those 2 wins.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other one was.
For some reason, Matt is picking them and laying the 2.5 points.
It's a tough choice.
So I'm a little angry that Matt included this game among the six-pack, even though there's only probably 6 games that have yet to be played. I would have gone with 5, just out of pure principle.
Yeah.
I will take Vegas as well.
I'll go with Jacksonville because
I can't pick Mac Jones.
I'm going to pick Mac.
Can't do it, won't do it.
Let's do it. Mac on the road.
6-8 San Francisco 49ers at the 6-8 Miami Dolphins. San Francisco -2.
Paulie Paul?
I'll take the Dolphins. Home dog, box loudest.
Yeah, I'll take them too. Sounds like Tyreek's going to play.
Again, make it unanimous. Matt Smith taking the Miami Dolphins.
I hate those.
Sunday night football. 8-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the 6-8 Dallas Cowboys. Tampa -4.
Woo! I'm going to go Tampa. Tampa. Scoring points.
Speaking of teams that have not won at home, Matt Smith obviously thinking about that. He's going with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucs too. That offense has been very productive. Right? They're like third or fourth in the league in points scored.
Baker?
And as Fred says, the league is better when Baker Mayfield's in.
I mean, can't we all agree?
Can we all agree on that?
Who says that?
That's the proper face.
Who says that?
You made the proper face, Fred.
The league is better with Baker Mayfield in it?
Baker Mayfield. Like, the league is better. It's
Yeah.
like,
Bakes, baby.
it's
He
like
bakes.
the league is better with, LeBron James.
Yeah, right.
Monday night football. The 5-9 New Orleans Saints at the 10-4 Green Bay Packers. Green Bay -14.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Matt Smith not afraid to lay those points. He says, yeah, I'll take the pack and lay the 14.
I will as well.
Wow.
I think they'll get mollywopped.
Yeah, make it 3. I'm on.
And then the 3-11 New England Patriots at the 11-3 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo -14.
That would be you, Paulie Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to lay the points again. I do have some concerns if I'm Buffalo about their, intensity level, but I'm going to lay the points. I just think there's too much offense.
Deuce?
Yep, rubber stamp. Too much. Lay the points.
You guys are dumb. Me and Matt Smith we're smart. We're wicked smart. No socks. Taking the Pats +14.
Do you know why they call him No Socks, Hardy?
He doesn't wear socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't wear socks with shoes. He does wear them with sneakers.
What?
You heard me.
He doesn't wear socks with dress shoes?
Loafers. No socks.
What's he?
Sneakers, socks.
I think he's some kind of Nantucket fancy boy?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what he thinks he is?
No, I don't know. Nothing could be further from the truth. Matt is the opposite of that as you could get.
Oh, yeah.
I do find that to be unhygienic at best and just kind of gross.
It's a little stinky without the
So
socks.
that's
Oh,
why
yeah, a little?
you can't. Yeah, you can't do it.
That was my roommate in college. I got to college. You meet your roommate freshman year, and he was I just don't wear socks guy. And I was like, dude, you got to put your shoes outside of the dorm room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Shoes
die.
are-
I think I finally
Unbelievable.
shamed Zolak into wearing socks because he never wore socks. I'm like, dude, I can smell your feet with your shoes on. And it went on for years. He just smelled. And he wouldn't wear socks. He finally started wearing socks.
Good joke recently from Bill O'Brien on Julian Edelman's podcast talking about Belichick not wearing socks. And at one point they say, is that your feet, Bill? And
Oh, yeah.
telling Edelman to shut up. So, funny.
Yeah. Oh, they're cutting it up. Bill's out there having the time of his life. He really did end up being good at that media thing, huh? I take it all back.
Yeah, he was really good at it. Yeah, really good.
All right. By the way, Patriots Pregame Show brought to you by DraftKings. Stay tuned because, it's over. But you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. Or you did. DraftKings, the crown is yours. This is one that I should have read earlier. Oh, well. Hey, listen. This has been fun. I didn't tell you guys ahead of time. I can't stay for the postgame, so you guys can take care of all that on your own.
Okay.
And enjoy. And Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. He doesn't even care. Paul doesn't even care. I'll be back for the postgame, Paul.
I heard you.
They're playing our walk-off music now.
Yeah, we're out of here. Do we have to go? We got to jump? Okay. All right. We'll talk to you in the postgame. Bye.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.